Hello, hello, hello. This is Unsolicited with Security Boss. I hope everyone is having an outstanding Friday evening. And tonight, guys, I got a perfect co host. And I'm going to bring her up in just a minute, but you all know her as Rivah. So stay tuned tonight for an outstanding show. Here we go. Hi. I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you guys for being here. Let me know if you can hear me. Want to make sure that the words are being heard that come out of my mouth, because y'all know the last time I was here, I was talking and no one could hear me. So definitely let me know if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat for me, or just let me know if you can hear me or not. That would be perfect. I definitely appreciate you all for being here. Definitely give me a thumbs up as you come in. And we're going to bring Rivah up right now.
Hello.
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 Listen, I'm tell you something funny. The last time I did a live, I was talking. I think I said everything I said just a moment ago. Nobody heard anything I said.
Oh no.
I was going. But I just so happened wasn't looking at the chat. So I was just talking, didn't know. Then I finally looked, they was like, we can't hear you.
You're like, please, we can't hear you.
I know. I was like, oh, okay. But listen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And this is going to be somewhat like a continuation from last night. You actually brought me up on your platform and I enjoyed it. So we're going to kind of like continue with this, but we put a little, not an extra, but maybe another aspect. We added the topic of tonight, which is, does your reputation matter?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going to put that in there and just see how it works. But guys, thank you for coming. Make sure you hit that thumbs up when you come in. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do. And also make sure you subscribe to Rivah, because guess what? It's for free, guys. That's all we actually do. And you got to come and get this good content, because you got 2 women that advocate for men and that love ladies also. But we advocating for men because y'all know why. But anyway, Rivah, I want to say this to you. First time I met you, or, you caught my attention, I should say, it was when you were doing a reaction video to my time on the panel over at LaPeef.
Yes.
And I must say you did an outstanding job.
Thank you.
Your numbers were actually better than their numbers. So can you imagine that?
Okay.
So yeah. I know that's crazy, right? Yeah, I had to, I don't know how. I don't even know what came over me that night. Well, no, I'm going to tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. What happened was I loved the show. And I like to hear things when I look at these platforms. I like to hear people speak. Mm-hmm. And that particular night, I couldn't hear anything because they were going at it. They were loud. They were talking over each other and everybody else. I was like, oh no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. So I just said, pull me up. Let me just talk to them for a moment. And maybe I can get them to understand what we see. Well, you think it worked?
No. Because we're still having these conversations all the time.
All the time. And nothing is working. I mean, nothing's working. So listen, I'm going to say hello to a few people. Eugene Steele, hello. Goldie, hello. Corey, I saw you in there. Stephen Day, hello, guys. Thank y'all for being here. Mm-hmm. Cats, I can't tell what that is, but hold on, I'll get you. Cat student number 1, hello. Broman, how are you? Is that my broman? Oh, is this a different broman? Broman, hello, how are you? But thank you guys for being here. Anyone that's in it, Real Fam Sapien, thank you for being here. Ooh, we don't want to talk about that. But thank you guys for coming, and stay tuned. Of course, we're going to drop the link in the chat as we go on, but we're going to go ahead and get started. Well, is there anything else you want to add, Rivah, before we get started?
Well, the only thing that I was gonna say is that, seeing it's so funny because there's so many people that I met off of that platform. And it's
Mhm.
crazy because I look at that platform as like a connector to like all people. You will
Yeah.
always find someone that you maybe have never seen and they saw them before or something. So I really love that. And when I saw that video, I could feel the love that you had while you were talking. It wasn't like you were just having a conversation and you were just like, trying to be rude or anything like that. Like you were just being like genuine, like I'm like a mama, like just being genuinely
Yeah.
honest and just being like, this is foolishness,
Yeah.
and I'm just telling you because I'm observing you and I'm watching you and it's not good, and I loved that so much. So how you saw me reacting to it, my feelings about you in that video was like 100% true. I loved the way
Thank
that you
you.
handled that. Yeah.
I've been checking them out since then, and my heart's going out again. But I'm like, I don't think it's anything that can be done. I mean, I'll just be one. I don't know. I don't know if this is for YouTube or if this is real, but it is.
Mm,
It is definitely getting to be extreme. It really,
mm.
really is. So, that brings us to our topic.
That brings
Does
me
reputation matter? So we're gonna kind of go off on what happened last night. Last night for your show, go ahead and give us the title of your show because then maybe that helps.
Would you believe me if I said I have to look at it?
Yeah, I would.
Because
I myself, I don't know my titles. I know what we talk about, but if we go back to topics, I'm like, oh,
yes. Okay, so the title of my video yesterday was "The Dangers of Promoting Promiscuity and 304 Culture."
okay, okay. So you all know what 304 culture is, and you know we definitely promoting it. So today we're gonna come up with this. We're asking, after all that's been done and we've promoted it and you have a name for you on Instagram, you're doing all this extra. Now you have a reputation. So does your reputation matter? Because it's worse now. It used to be the little girl in the neighborhood. You grow up and people forget.
Right.
Now it's imprinted in the cloud, and all you got to do is put in the right name, and it comes up. I mean, it never goes away. So, what you think about that? Our reputations, does it matter?
Absolutely.
Mm.
And it's funny. I don't want to. I want you to go first before I say what I was going to say.
Oh no! This is not formal like that. Whatever you have to say, go at it. No, I'm. Mm-mm.
So what's so interesting is because an aspect of our conversation last night was about me telling, the panel about stuff that I saw on TikTok,
Right.
And this is such a perfect segue because last night when I was talking about that, I couldn't dive deep even into that part of that conversation. And I don't even think you were aware of that part of that conversation.
No.
So that's why I'm like, this is so interesting because I was talking about, just scrolling through regular TikTok, right? Like just scrolling through, and I saw a lot of these girls saying like before my sneaky link appointment and after my sneaky link appointment. And I saw it come up on my on TikTok, there's like that For You page. So I saw it popping up over and over again. And then finally I'm like, why are all these girls posting this? And like they all look really beautiful and it's the same thing. So when I finally clicked on one, and I realized that it's before they meet up with the guy, and then it's after the hair, wig be off, lashes be off, makeup jacked up. And I'm like, this is like, you're literally displaying your diary. So when you say, when you just said the thing about reputation and how it's there for the world to see, I feel like a lot of people do not take that into account. Like, not only do we know what you're doing, we have the receipts.
We do.
Yeah, it's insane.
But you know what? When you have grown up, so you're young too.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time where there were no cell phones, there were no cameras, right. This stuff didn't exist. So you could do things and get away with them. Okay. Right. But now you have everything imprinted. So I actually think the young ladies are not seeing their way into the future. They're living in today, and that's about as far as they go. I don't think they have no idea of, will I be married one day? I think it's all about, this is fun. Let me do it. Nothing is off limits. So that, they don't know anything about our reputation.
Right.
But
I also feel like they don't care. Because I remember like that aspect of what was it? MySpace, right? Like that was like kind of like the first kind of, but it was very, very different. Like here, like people have their phone with them. Back then you couldn't even go on MySpace on your phone. Like that wasn't even a thing because the connection was going to be off on your phone. It's too slow. You can't even pull it up. But now people just upload, boom, 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 without thinking about it, without any conscience, like anything, and they just post it. And it's interesting too because you said something that's so accurate. It's like they don't even know enough to know, to care about it. But then
Right.
there's also an aspect of like all of these younger generation, like all these younger people, they literally just again have no shame. Like they really have no shame. That's why you can see them like, twerking outside and like, in a nice restaurant, twerking on top of the table. Like y'all don't have any shame. It's crazy. It's like literally like an insane thing to me.
It is, because let me tell you, I'm giving you the definition for reputation. Now, the belief, I'm going to go to this, a widespread belief that someone or something has a particular habit or characteristic. We've already labeled them as 304s.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's in the cloud as 304.
Mm-hmm.
No matter if I put in the name, it's going to come up with 304.
Mm-hmm.
Let me set out this super chat. Shannon Rawls, how are you? Thank you so much for your 1999 super chat. We're gonna get him the money line song.
That's so nice.
That's my money line song, Rivah.
I love it. This is the vibes over here.
I know. Thanks, Shannon. He says one of the greatest channels on YouTube. Let's all support to help keep it going. Thanks, Shannon. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. So much. So okay, so they've already built this thing and they've already built this reputation. And what they're saying is, this is what I want to be known as. They're saying, I want to be known this way. Because there's several things you could be known as. You could be the prep girl with the little short skirt on, the little mini skirt in college. Oh, I got another super chat. Just give it a second. This super chat is coming from Real Fam Sapien. I'm gonna give you the money line song. What?
We dancing before it start.
I don't hear it. But anyway, thank you for your $5 super chat. And always a pleasure. Thank you. I'm sorry, we're gonna get that song for you because you deserve it. But anyway, these girls I'm saying girls because that's what you're talking about as far as the slinky leaks. But I need to understand something with that. All right, you deserve that, girl. You deserve that. Thank you. So it has superseded them, and I don't really understand. I don't think they know. But I'm go back a little bit because I think they want to be known as that. But I heard something the other day. Well, I'm gonna go back to what you said, the slinky leaks. Yeah. Whatever. Now, the before and after, what are we doing? Are we making a video? Are we selling ourselves? What are we actually doing? I meant to ask you about that. What are they doing? I know what they're doing, but
a video with like some music playing, like a normal, kind of like a normal TikTok. So a video with some music playing and, the selfie camera on, and maybe they're like putting on the makeup and like, getting ready or whatever the case is, spraying themselves with some perfume, Some people go all out. I mean, in some of these clips, you see them like, showing what kind of soaps they use and, breaking it down for other people on like, how you're supposed to come correct, right? And then after, it's literally like the worst one that I feel like I saw, the worst after I saw was a girl who was like in the bathroom, wig off, lashes off, makeup smeared. And it's like, so you see the before of her looking so beautiful and like going there, and then you see the after.
So what's the point of this? They're just telling you, I mean, is there a winner?
I guess, no, but they're all seeking validation from each other, saying if basically it's like the worse that they look is a representation of how great it was.
Oh my good. And this is all about sex.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So that brings us to where you were last night as far as the body count, but we're dealing with the reputation of it. So remember I said what I added to the platform was, and we've talked, Sir Hale is in the chat right now, and he was the one that brought this to my attention because we were talking about body count. And I said, okay, since it's all about the body count, I said, what if she only slept with 3 and the one man was at now cutting hair at the barbershop where you go? What would you do? Mm-hmm. He actually said he would move. So then that brought it to me to say, okay, well, this is not about body count. This is about actually reputation. Because right. I'm calling it reputation because he didn't want to see anybody that, or even know of anybody that his wife had actually made love to. I'm gonna make it good and clean. Yeah. And to see that one person, he was like, I can't do it. So your reputation is actually worse than, I should say, more important than your body count. What do you think about that?
I think, well, hello to my sis, Rebecca, girl. You know, I love you, girl. I love you.
Hey, Rebecca.
I'm sorry. I got this.
No, go ahead. Rebecca is on baby watch.
I know. Every time I go check her Instagram too, she doesn't even know that, but I'm like, the baby here? Oh no, not yet. Is the baby here? So you're saying, is the reputation? Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah. Do you think your reputation is more important than your body count?
Do I think that reputation is more important than body count?
And I'm saying that because remember, the body count didn't matter when he was your barber. It was just that one guy. The fact that the barber was that I went to the barber shop where this man is there and he slept with my wife blew my mind. So the body count at that point was only 3. It just happened to be the right one.
Well, let me ask you. I want to ask a little bit more context of the reputation. The reputation according to whom?
Well, the reputation according to dictionary is how people think about you. Right. What you have given the impression, is what the impression you leave upon someone.
But this is why, because I'm sure people are like, how is this a hard question? Let me tell you why it's a difficult, like, Rivah, what do you
I know where you're going.
I find that such a difficult question is because there's so many different aspects of that. Like, there's so much context that's missing from that question in regards to, right? Like, not overly, but we're just saying in regards to, like, sometimes the people around you or the people who look at you a certain way don't really know the full story or don't know the full aspects of you. And because you can have a whole reputation and it's nothing true. It's nothing of who you really are. It's just what people view you as. Like, I'm going to use this for a perfect example so that it makes a lot more sense. I'm Jamaican, right? So I'm just going to use like our dancers, for example, right? We have a very dancing culture, whining and stuff like that. I'm sure when people hear of like Jamaica and they think of dancing, they probably think of the people like, jumping off of stuff or, bend over. Okay. So it's interesting because with those girls, I'm just going to use that for an example. There's many girls who dance like that and like will be like, going all in at a party. And people will assume that they are a 3 or 4, right?
Right.
But in a large aspect of that situation, a lot of those women are not like that at all. They are the complete opposite. So that's why I was saying when it comes to reputation, it depends on who is forming these opinions of you and where you're getting this reputation from.
Well, then wouldn't that be the same as, wouldn't that lend to your body count? Because they would probably also think that those same ladies slept with several men.
Right. They do think that.
So what message would you put out there for the ladies?
In regards to that?
Yeah, because whatever you do precedes you. I don't have to know you to get an idea of who you are. So if I'm seeing you, basically having sex on the floor, dancing, then I'm going, as a man looking for a wife, I'm going to perceive that that's probably who you are because, this brings me to something else. It's the whole issue that the world has with Sierra and Russell. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She's probably not that girl, but she could be that girl. So
that's a tough one too, because I've heard people have those conversations about her because they look at,
what she puts out there.
The baby daddy too.
See?
And they're like, we know who he deal with. You know what I mean? Like we would know who this person is. And this person is completely different, but who is the true you? Like a lot of people ask that question. But really quick, before we go into that, what you were saying about what you just said, what you put out there and what you represent, people are going to, you're going to have to break down more barriers. It's going to be more work for you to change how people perceive you. Because like you said, if you walk like a duck and it quack like a duck, it must be a duck, until you find out like, oh my gosh, that was a chicken. I had no idea. Like, I really thought that was a duck. So, that's why I was getting to, that's very true, because if it's just like if you hang out with girls who are about that life and you're not, it doesn't matter. People are looking at you like you are about that life.
Ooh. So even it goes as far as who you hang out with.
Yeah.
Wow. I never thought about that.
Because if I'm hanging with you and you have a bad reputation, and another example, okay, I'm hanging with you, you have a bad reputation. I'm just using Miss Boss for.
No, you can use me. Listen, I have not always been this woman.
And you have for example, you have a bad reputation. I'm gonna use Rebecca. Rebecca got a bad reputation, and I'm hanging with Rebecca, and maybe again because of her reputation, because she's actually done things, because of her reputation, when men are around and they see me walking with her, they're like, oh, she must be the same thing. I'm going to assume that she is that. Why would she be any different if they're so close with each other? So it goes really deep. It goes to as far as your, your homegirls, your friends, the way that you portray yourself, especially on social media, the way that you portray yourself. Like, people can build a whole persona of you that's not even who you genuinely are, but it's how they perceive you based off of the category that you fit yourself into.
Definitely. So how does this lend to your body count, your reputation? Well, or can it? Or I should say, can it? Can it?
It can, because people can assume your body count.
Right.
People can assume, they're making up everything, and sometimes we already know, like, some people's reputation is true, right? Like, some people that are known to sleep around, they know that because Johnny had it, Dylan had it, Tommy had it, Kevin had it, Ricky had it, Mike, they all had it. The whole
everybody had it. Everybody had it. Yeah, that's a different one.
Yeah, that's a different one. But you can make people assume that you are something that you are not. And people will assume, well, she's out here like that. She's hanging with, this girl who was already about that life. And, she dressed like it. She looked like it. She's posting like it. She's, half naked on the gram. So she must have slept around.
So I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Does a high body count and a 304 look alike?
No.
There you go. Say it again. I'm going to say it again because I don't think men hear this.
Yes.
A high body count and a 304, they don't look alike, men.
No, they don't. You can have a 304, a person that looks like a 304 who is as prude as they come, and you can have somebody who looks like a teacher and is the freak of the week.
Freak. That's all she does. So understand this. So that's what I'm trying to say with the reputation and the body count. That's, y'all are not asking the right questions. Man, if you're asking that question, that is not the right question. First thing, you're not going to get the truth. Second thing is if you're checking for 304-ish behavior, asking body count is not the right answer, because I'm telling you, it don't look the same. It doesn't look the same. It does not. I remember last night that you said that, and I said, they look different. You was like, yeah, they do. They do. They do.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
look
they do.
very, very different. So what is more important, your body count or your reputation?
I'm still right back to the same question. I'm still stumped. That's a hard one. That's still so hard because I would like to say it's your reputation, right? I would like to say that. I would absolutely like to say that it's your reputation. Um Body count is really important sometimes because sometimes you can have a person who, because we even had this kind of context last night too, where it's like, what about the girl who slept around a lot, but she was always in a relationship? But also, it's like your reputation might look clean on paper, but girl, you always in love every week. Like you always in love. Like you've been with a lot of different people on the basis of
Love,
but you really are only using that as a cover up for just you not wanting to be out there and be free like that. So what you do is you just date a lot of people. Like you'd be like, oh no, we're dating, but then you get tired of him and oh we broke up and then oh I'm with this guy and we're dating. Just to make yourself look different than the 304 sneaky link, so there's different aspects of that as well.
Now that 304 out there by herself, she is sneaky links. That's a given. Them two are sisters. They're hanging out together.
Yeah.
They've been together from the beginning. They're just trying to, you know what? They're just labeling their activity. We're not going to even talk about them. We're talking about the women who are grown women, and have lived a little. Oh, reputation. You can have a low body count, but a bad reputation. You definitely can.
Yeah,
because you can be, this brings me to something. I thought about this and I know it's kind of off. Yesterday when you mentioned it, you was like talking about the barrels and how people are so close. And you said, you got the scammers, but they have a lot of money. Do you know, and I'm not going to call them 304s, but do you know, women are looking for those type of men?
Yeah. They sure are. They sure are.
That's a hard pill to swallow to say now that would be a reputation in itself.
Yeah. No, okay. I'm glad you said that because now we're getting more into the nitty gritty, and especially with that comment that Goldie just made. I love that because that's so true. You can have a girl who has not been all the way around the world, and I don't want to go too far, but she, the things that she does with people is not becoming, and it's not that many people. And
right.
Then, again, and this is why I say this is such a tricky situation. It's so intricate to know more of the nature of that person and the character of that person, because so many things, because you can have a person that maybe had a reputation for sleeping around, but maybe when you get with that woman, she's so loyal to you. And a woman who maybe was super innocent and didn't sleep around that much might freak out. Like, there's so many different aspects. And I think that a big aspect of that situation is who the man is.
That we're getting there. But I think that goes to the point of why I asked the question of the body count, because that's not what's the most important thing.
I think that.
I think it lends to that because I asked the question and the young man that was beside me, I forgot his name right now, but he had the best answer. Because basically he was, I'm not going to try to quote him, but he had a very good answer for why he would ask the body count being wherever. Who was it? You remember his name?
Edward. I think it was Edward.
Do you remember what he said as far as
insecurities? And
it was nothing but insecurity. Yeah, that's what it was. It was an insecurity. And that person, whomever that man is, hadn't got to a point in their life where they felt secure in their manhood. And they just wanted to make sure that she wasn't looking at the other man or the past or previous man and maybe, got some feeling of, you know what, maybe I should go back, Right. So I think that may be a lot of what it is, because otherwise I need some more validity to why you have to know that because, people change. You could have been I ain't going to give you a 304, but you could have had some partners in your 20s. 20s that's the whole 9 years of 20, or maybe 10 years of 20s or college years where you might have slept with several guys, more than 5. Now you're 30 and you realize in your 30s, now you're realizing, whoa, I shouldn't have maybe done that. Now you understand, you're getting real about life. So now you in your 30s and you've had 2 good relationships then. So now you're up to 7. So now it's time to be married.
Oh, these numbers are amazing that you're throwing out there, because I can tell you that these girls are past that. I can tell you that they're past that. But I'm just using that for example.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt because I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. But it's same thing. Because remember, we're talking about it now. You're talking about the sneaky links. Who knows where they are? But one day they're going to wake up.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and some women don't, right? And those women that don't, we know, are the ones that are just single forever. You know, maybe got a boyfriend, you know, maybe 40 with a boyfriend, 50 with a boyfriend, you know what I'm saying? And some women just genuinely don't, but most of them do. But by the time they do, it's like you're kind of like worn out.
Kind of like.
Sorry, I was trying to be nice.
Kind of like. Wow, I'm not listening. Wow, so you are not listening. Oh, I don't know. What are we supposed to be to men? Okay, I'm sorry about that. Your chat, I can't see your chat. Forgive me.
I want to know. He left another comment and said that was there, but I want more context to what he's trying to convey.
Yeah, because I didn't see it. Excuse me, Money Life Business. He's saying, wow, so you are not listening to men. So I think we are listening to men. We're trying to tell men now what they're actually dealing with and what is most important. We're saying body count. You all are saying body count, but is it really body count or is it reputation? Now, if that's what he's talking about, but if it's something else, or if it is body count, we're going to definitely drop the link and we want you to come up and let us know, why is it body count? You know, what are your concerns about the body count? Is it about her being worn out? Because remember, we already said a 304 doesn't look like a high body count all the time.
Right.
Although it could.
It's true.
Although it could. So we're going to drop the link in just a few minutes and we want you to come up and hopefully you can let us know why we're not listening to men, or if that's actually what you meant. I know these chats get a little funny sometimes.
Yeah.
TR Baby 23 just super chatted. Thank you for your 99 cents. You're going to get the song in just a minute. You're going to get the Moneyline song. Here it goes. I think. Well, in a minute, we're going to get the Moneyline song. So, but that brings us to it, because I definitely really want to know. I want men to look at things that are going to make their life easier. Mm-hmm. Because the more life you live, the more you probably going to come it's going to be some foolish stuff going on. Let's just say it like that. Right. I got married very young. I was fortunate to get married young. I didn't know it though. You know, of course, when I'm 25 getting married, I didn't know. Everybody around me is saying, "Oh, you're too young. You're too young." That's not my thoughts, you know? Right. So, it says you always default to what is natural to you. Women don't change. Oh, that's absolutely not true, sir. But if that's your opinion, I agree with you, but that's not true. People change all the time, women and men. And I'm not going to even use the word change. We grow up. That's
really true because that's very true. And again, I'm not gonna venture off to hello, good evening. I'm not gonna venture off too far into that rabbit hole, because sometimes, you know, a comment will go into a whole rabbit hole and cause you to. We're gonna drop the link and I have asked him to come up, but people do change. Your life can change. You know what? Like I said last night, something very traumatic can happen and it turn your head completely. You'll be like, okay, I don't no longer want to live that way. So things can definitely alter your life. It's definitely true. A lot of people go through different things, and you know, Benjamin, how old do I look?
I think you already said. When was he here when you said it?
I don't know.
That might have been before. So we're going to let him guess. But anyway, so that gives us that. We're going to drop the link and we're going to let some of these men come in and share this, because guess what? We never talked about the reputation of a man. So I'm actually going to put this out there and you can tell me if I'm wrong or not. We've already said the reputation of a woman. It's the Moneyline song for CJ. Thank you, CJ. Body count matters, but it's foolish to ask. How about that? Thank you, CJ. So we already said that your body count, CJ, it matters, says it matters, but it is foolish to ask. Mm-hmm. We already said your reputation may supersede your body count. I happen to think it will. Mm-hmm. But when you're dealing with men, does the reputation matter?
Of the man?
Yeah.
I think not the same, and not in the same manner as the woman. No.
Tell me what you mean by that.
Because if a man has slept with maybe more women,
Mm-hmm.
the woman is more prone to be like, "Ooh, he's experienced."
Mm.
Especially if he looks a certain way, and especially if maybe the women look, maybe if you know any kind of women that he dealt with or whatever, and they're like all beautiful women are more prone to be like, "Ooh, whew, I got the good one. He's experienced. He's been out here, And the other side of the coin is like, no men want a woman that a lot of men have experienced, regardless of the fact that, like, maybe if they will still deal with her, even marry her. Like, some men will, look past certain things. I think if the number is ridiculous, nobody's looking past it, though. Just being honest. And
Okay,
ridiculous is relative to that man.
so we looking at reputation for men or women, reputation and body count for women being reputation being sexually the topic basically.
Right.
Okay, but for a man, we're looking at, for me, I look at the reputation being more of, is he a drug dealer?
Right. That's true.
Is he a bank robber?
Right.
Is he a scammer?
Yeah.
And I'm actually, are you telling me that doesn't matter?
I think that does matter. And differently, because I was gonna say that aspect of his body count, but I was also going to say in the aspect of maybe has he harmed any other women? Like, because you want his background a little bit. So if he's known for being a creep, you don't want to be with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're like, oh no, he's a guy that kind of like gives weird vibes, or like he makes people feel uncomfortable. Like, it's more of his character, his nature that will make you feel some type of way. But some women only date guys that are drug dealers. Like, if you're not, they're like, oh, nah.
I don't want you. I can almost say this. I almost think that the reputation of a man doesn't matter.
Right.
And the body count of a man doesn't matter.
No.
I don't think it matters.
No.
I really don't.
When it comes to in space of harm, I think that's one aspect that it might matter.
Oh, you mean like a killer? We're not talking about killers.
Like his past, like if his past is a little distorted, you're like, but in majority of women, I've seen people be like, oh, he got in trouble for this, but he ain't do it. I'm like, what? He went there. Like,
let me tell you something. On one of my lives not too long ago, it wasn't my live, it was Rebecca live. I was on with Rebecca. This man was in there, and I said, the only reason why I would ever divorce my husband is I found out, he was the killer.
Right.
Killer. And this man was in the chat, and he said, my wife, she would tell them, it ain't my husband. Y'all got the wrong guy. He said she wouldn't leave me. I don't think it matters. I do not think it matters. Because another thing too, you have men in prison right now who serial killers, and they getting all kind of letters from women, hoping and praying they get out. They can't wait.
That's true.
That's true. Money.
That's true.
So it's a double.
True. That's true.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter.
I think it matters. I believe that majority of the time, majority of the time, it does not matter. It does not matter. But I think there's a small minority there's a certain type of women.
Oh yeah.
That it does matter, but there's a minority. So I don't think that it even makes sense to even bring that up. I'm just trying to, be balanced. But it's a small minority of women who might be like, oh, he went, oh no, oh, you didn't go to college? Oh no. Like, there's some women who are a certain way, but majority of women, it's true, they will just look past it. They don't care.
Hey, Bethany. She said, how far back are we talking to someone's past? I don't care about a man's past if he is currently a good man, changed, and his friends, family can validate it. So Bethany said it. But women, so that just, listen, we got to speak to the women. We got to let them know.
Friends and family be lying. Friends and family be lying.
I think the girlfriends lie more than the friends and family, but I'm with you. I'm with you on it. I'm with you on it. But it just goes to show we're not asking the right questions. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jamal. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. We are not asking the right questions. So we got to listen. I said this, I think last night. I try to talk to women all the time, and women don't listen. And I think you probably do the same. And we all kind of make our shows to, if not talk to women, to warn the men. So we warning the men, right? Because the women, they don't care about the men. They don't. Hey, Mr. Rucker. Oh, it's the 28th of the month. I definitely want you to hit that link in a little bit. I need to have a few words with you. I do. Prenup first. This is my prenup guy. We're gonna see how it's going because it's the 28th of the month. He should be getting married soon.
Oh,
So yeah, yeah. It's a funny story. It's a funny story. I need to ask him, does the body count matter? Did he consider that's a good question for him because he's now should be a fiance, have a fiance. But we're gonna drop the link. Yes, you definitely can speak. We're gonna drop the link in just a few minutes, and we're gonna ask all you all to come up. We're gonna pull up a few because we want to hear what you all have to say about reputation over body count. We already established that it doesn't matter for men.
no.
In my opinion, I don't think it matters for men. I think women are forgiving. I think men are not as forgiving.
Women be like, you so nasty. And
Really?
then still, like, they only can say that as a joke, but they're never gonna take that
No,
serious.
I literally heard the girl said, I want a scammer. She literally said that she wants a man that scams for a living.
Yeah. Because it's because he's gonna be, I think I saw that same video. It's because he's gonna be more frivolous with the money because it's not his. So it's quicker to spend it. So like, if it's like a businessman, you know what I'm saying? They might be like, that doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna buy you a Birkin bag. That's not logical. But this guy, it's not his money anyway. He's like, yeah, get it. Like.
So do you think it's do you think it's that men are more serious about life than women?
That's a good question. So I think that men are more serious about life than women. I think they have to be.
I think they definitely should be. They're leaders, but we're just off right now, though. We're way off. I need us to get straight. We're way off because if a man is concerned about his wife, the way she makes him look, her body count, what she's bringing to the table, and all of that, and the woman is worried about a scammer and a Birkin bag, and he could be a bank robber in his past. It's so good.
I think that's the beauty of these conversations that we have and actually being on these platforms because, two things I want to say. First thing I want to say is that men don't have a choice. By the time they hit 18, they get out of high school, their mom or their dad look, okay, well, what you going to do with your life? And everybody is kind of looking to them, society, that, well, you're your own man and you have to figure it out. And then when you look in the dating world, all the women are expecting them to be able to compete with the people on social media. And, you got to buy me this, you got to buy me dinner. If you don't have any money, you have to figure it out. You can't live with your mom, even though she lives with her mom because she just got out of high school too. Like, the women have that ability to be children forever. But the man has to figure it out because when that woman leaves her home, she can go to his home and she's still going to be covered. So men don't have a choice but to figure it out. However, in these conversations, I see men here. And I see men pouring their heart out, saying the things that they want, saying what they wish they had, saying that they wish the women can get it together. And it's the women I see doing backflips on social media.
So you just made I agree with you. That's all you see. Hey, Bolo, how are you? That's all you see. You definitely see that. Or you see them doing sneaky links, which is getting closer to your future.
But this younger generation of women, these modern women, I can't even say younger generation because the modern woman mindset is from very different ages. It's the young girls and it's some grown women, like in their 40s.
You're right.
50s. It's just a mindset. And they only seek the validation from their homegirls.
Yeah.
They don't care what the men think.
Oh, so let me ask you a question about that. I was asked a question. Well, I wasn't asked a question. I've noticed that in order to have girlfriends, you all have to do the same things. But because if you're someone that opposed, they're no longer your girlfriend. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. I said, no, I don't do girlfriends. I've been limited on girlfriends my whole entire life. Because if you're not doing what they do, if you was doing sneaky links and I wouldn't, mean you couldn't hang out together.
Yeah.
That goes to the reputation.
I've actually definitely lost, I won't even say lost because I don't take it as a loss, but I definitely have ended friendships over that because what they try to do is they try to maybe, shame you.
Exactly.
because
Yeah, I
they're
know.
a part of it, make you feel small, make you feel dumb because you're not doing what they're doing. Even if you're standing there and you're like, I can see the danger of this.
Right.
Oh, you take stuff too serious. Oh, you this. Okay, you know what? You do you, because I'm not fighting you doing you, but for some reason, you don't want me to be myself. So this is not going to work.
So then that question is for tonight, does reputation still matter? What do you think? Because now, does it still matter? Because you got modern women and you got modern men too. Because I've met a man who said he wanted a modern woman, but his definition of a modern woman was a woman that was educated, that was willing to come into the home, help him pay bills, but still have her own independence. Right. He ain't talking about the wild chick. He's not talking about the woman that fights him every night, arguing, and he's not saying that. This is a very well educated man. He said he just didn't need her to be the one that did everything. He didn't care for her to have to be traditional. He'll cook sometime, he'll clean sometime. Right. He didn't care for her to be 50-50, but he wasn't going to pay all the bills and she did nothing with her money. So he felt like what the things he wanted lend more to a modern woman.
I think it's interesting because even with that whole modern and traditional thing, I think that everybody kind of has their own opinions of what's modern and what is traditional. Because I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like based off of what I've seen in my own family, like even the women who were traditional back then, some of them were nurses, secretaries, receptionists. They did work.
Those were the jobs, and teachers. Those were the jobs that they have. Mm-hmm.
But they still, came home and served their husbands. And a lot of those men back then, not all, but because there's a lot of men who did still cook too, and the wife cooked too, and they were but they still have that traditional, he wasn't going to cook every single night,
Right.
She was the one that was looking over the household, the cleaning, the children. But even if she had her little secretary job, it wasn't something that was going to interfere with her home life, so I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm a PhD, but I think what we're saying is that I think traditional is to be the servant, the mother. It has nothing to do with the chores.
Right.
It's whatever's necessary.
Right.
Wherever you need to be. Whereas a modern woman may say, no, we 50-50. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that.
Right.
It's a mind, like you said, mindset. It's a mindset. But I do know that there are some men who want that mindset of 50-50 or whatever,
there is
whatever agreement that goes in. I just don't think they want that argument, though. I think that's two totally different things. So we're going to definitely drop the link in the chat. So all of you to continue to have these comments, I want you all to come up and definitely share with us your thoughts, because his reputation, does it matter? The men or women, both ways. I already know it doesn't matter with a man. It doesn't. Because some people think it's so cute to be a bad boy.
Yeah.
I prefer the nerd, but some think it's so cute to be a bad boy. But anyway, I kind of want the nerdy guy or the athletic guy. But
speaking to reputation, when I'm in a long time ago, but when I was like young, I would like the one that's like quiet, maybe doesn't talk too much, maybe the one that a lot of girls don't like. And then the minute you date him, because of his reputation now,
yes,
he's with you. Now all the girls want him. Now he turns into, it's like Urkel when he turned into Stefan.
Yes, I know exactly that. I tell people that all the time, and they'll try to take your man too.
Right. You're like, I know you didn't just get cool and try to leave me.
Yeah, they did. They do. That's why it's so funny, because sometimes it doesn't matter what you've done, or like I said, your body count or who you done it with. Which one is going to supersede you? Is it going to be your reputation? And then I think some men, maybe not to wife up, but I think some men go for women who have a reputation in that area. It's the same difference. Like you said, they do it for experience. They was like, oh, she gonna know what to do.
A man, that's a great example. A man will hit it for your reputation if he know you was out here, just so he could say that he's a part of the roster. But will a man wife you with that reputation?
No.
Absolutely not.
No, he's not.
Because all the men who were a part of that roster are looking at that man who does marry her like a fool. Because the man who does marry her doesn't know about the reputation.
Okay, so listen, you gave another example last night of something that was very good. You said, I think this was you. It might have been EP. Well, someone said, men are looking for women who have natural hair, natural qualities, and then I think you said,
Yeah.
no. Women will always say they want the women with the weave, the long hair, and all of that. So, is that a reputation?
What aspect of that?
That look is that their reputation to have long flowy hair, to be made up, to have the eyelashes, to have all of those things? Is that their reputation? Because men may look for that because they seem to think, because I think you were the one who said
Women
no.
think that men want that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they always tell us that they don't, women really think that. Do I think that is their? I don't think that's necessarily their reputation, because if she bucks up in the certain relationship with the right man, she will strip all that stuff away for him. But I think that's where she seeks her validation from her homegirls, from other women. Like, if they see me, they see my lashes done, they see my wig, they see my nails, they see my this, it makes it look like I have maybe money, because all that stuff is expensive, or maybe it looks like I have it all together, or it maybe looks like I'm that girl.
Right. It's the perception. It's the perception they're putting out. So now that you don't have it, hold on, let me address this really quick. TR Baby 23, you get the song at $1. I apologize. If I'd have known, I'd have told you to add that penny, because I like the song too. But that's the reputation, though. That's what they want. That's what they want. The women want the world to perceive them as, including the men. So when they say to you, or when you say you hear them and they say, oh no, this is what men like, what do you think about that? Because part of me believe that.
I think that's the men that might I think the men that sleep with you will make you think whatever, whatever. But the men that want relationships and want like a wife, they're not into that, because they want to see the real you. Like, they want to see who you are behind all that. That's why we see like all the memes on social media and stuff like that. They'd be like, oh, on her first date, I'm gonna take her swimming, because they want to see what you really, really look like. Like, who are you for real?
Right. Well, this is my last, I guess not question, but my last thing I want to say to you, Rivah, about this, because I've heard.
Can I say one thing too after you finish?
You don't have to ask. You can say anything you like. But this is the one other thing, because I also heard young ladies talk about these the plastic surgery, and they say they get them for their men because they know when they do it, they're gonna get money. Like the man's gonna take care of.
I heard this too. And I think in that aspect, it was like, they say get your body done before you get your teeth done, because the body will attract the man that will pay for your teeth.
Oh my goodness. Is that what they mean for real?
Yeah. So they think they're using that as a way to attract like a man that maybe has money. So because of how you look, you're so attractive, you're, leveling up yourself so you can attract somebody who can continue to pay your bills.
And that's a real thing, though. It's a real thing, because they said it. It's a very real thing.
But a lot of these, what I don't understand is a lot of these women who have these bodies don't have no husband.
It all kind of just. Oh, there you go, TR Baby 23. There go your money line song. There you go. There you go. I hope you enjoyed it. But you know what? I don't know. I don't know about this, because this has to have some validity to it, because this stuff is not cheap and it's not free. So somebody somewhere has a sponsor, and somebody's sponsoring this type of behavior. And I didn't know it was to get another. I didn't know you put the work in to get some other work, but okay, I guess that makes sense now.
But I don't know how they afford it either. Trust me, but it must be the
sponsors
that we was talking about before.
Yeah,
it must be that, because it doesn't make sense to me. Because sometimes I'll be like, okay, I know you cannot. Like, how did this happen? How did you afford to make this happen? You know what I'm saying?
I don't
know. I think some people, in my opinion, I'm sure, like there has to be like some kind of payment plan. Like there has to be something because it's so common nowadays.
A payment plan. You think so? It probably is a payment plan.
Maybe,
It is.
because it's not like how it was before. Before it was like, oh my gosh, like plastic surgeon, that's so expensive. Like, I couldn't even imagine. But now it's like everybody has it. Everybody get BBL.
So money, life, business. How are you, sir?
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Listen, is everybody getting plastic surgery? Everybody got a BBL.
I'm in Miami, so yes.
Me too. Exactly.
When they go to listen, they coming to you all to get the BBLs.
Well,
Dr. Miami. What's his name? Dr. Miami.
Dr. Miami.
Yeah, there you go. I'm in Miami. So
Listen, thank you for coming up and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
I want you to add some clarity. You got to give us some of that masculine energy, some of that, thought process that comes from men only. And let us know, does reputation still matter?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm going to let you know, honestly, reputation and the body count. So I know there's, I don't want to make anyone feel bad, but it's going to have to be said.
That'll lead us down another road.
It's going to have to be said.
There's
a lot of men that are raised by single mothers that are being told that, the body count doesn't matter. As long as you love them, anything could happen and it could work out. But and a man, as being a man, you want to have, you want a woman that is yours. And if you go outside, I'm going to use a primitive example, but it's going to reach the point. You go outside and you go to the park or you go to a destination and you have 3 or 4 people there that had your woman. How are you feeling? And I don't even want to use just feeling, but a woman should be conquered. A man is something, I'm speaking in masculine terms. A man wants to conquer his woman. She is a destination. She is something to be revered. Not put on a pedestal, but hey, this is mine. And if everyone had it, how can you do that?
That goes back to the first example that I gave when the woman only had 3 partners, but that one partner showed up in the same barbershop as her fiance, and it was only 3 partners. So what do you do in that case? Because that's not a high number, especially at 30, I think it was. So what do you do? I mean, so what are we saying about that? Does it even matter?
Well, here's the thing. In these modern times, it's looked at as, oh wow, she had only 3 people. That's a low number. But let's be honest. We're to the point now where we're making things normal. We're normalizing sex in numbers. That wasn't the case. Now they want a traditional guy. They want him to take care of the bills. But let's be honest. Again, when that was the case of the guy taking care of all the bills, you had a virgin. Think of it. You had a virgin.
I got a money line song. Come on, hold that thought. Bolo TV, thank you, Bolo, for your super chat. Get ready for the money line song. Keep teaching truth. We're gonna try. What my song get? Bolo gets the song. Bolo, hold on for the song. But anyway, we're gonna get back to this. Watch it comes on as soon as I start talking. But let me say this: you do desire. Didn't I tell y'all? Yeah. So listen, when things get heated, you play that song and it just makes everybody happy. So that's it's got 2 purposes.
It's a good song.
Yeah, baby. Come on. You done heard the money lines. Here we go again. It's gonna give it to you. But you are right. But are we really, let me tell you this. It goes back a little bit, I think, to what Rivah just said about in the past, women still worked. They had jobs like nurses. I'm right at it every time. Thank you so much for your $1.49 super chat. I'm right
that money line? Okay.
Yeah. Money line. I'm gonna rock it every time. Oh, here we got another one. Neo Moses. Thank you so much for your $4.99 super chat. Your spouse represents everything outside of home. It's a double standard.
Yes, there is a double standard. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because we just talked about it. Men's reputation really doesn't matter. A woman, it matters. Women will marry bank robbers, they'll marry drug dealers, everything. It doesn't matter.
There's a reason behind that. There's a reason behind it.
Give me mine. Money line. Give me mine. Give me mine. But you're right. It is a double standard. But I'm gonna go back a little bit to what you were saying about traditionally the man paying the bills and the women wanting the man to pay the bills and the version. And now you're equating those two to be equal, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'm going back to what Rivah said. Even though in the past women were traditional women, but they still worked. They still served their husbands.
You rich tonight.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby, you funny. White unicorn with rainbow hair. What are you talking about? Anyway, you being funny. You being funny. But you're equating the two, but like Rivah said, women still worked. They were nurses, they were teachers, they served the community, and they actually came home and were servant to their husbands.
Yeah.
Although I prefer and agree with you that the woman should be a virgin. If that's the case and could be, then I think it should be. But I don't equate the two, because a man being a leader of his home, being the head servant of his home, being the minister, the pastor over his home, being that man, that has nothing to do with what the woman does. That's his role.
Okay. No,
for me, it doesn't even mean he has to pay all the bills. So I'm not quite equating the two.
Oh no. When I say that, when I'm saying that, I mean as one, you get the other. So there's a standard for men. The problem now is the bar, or rather the goalpost for the women, is moving. There's always a standard for men.
Right.
Right.
For me, the standard for men is to be a leader.
Exactly.
Salt shaker. Okay, y'all, PR baby's being funny. He's being funny. He's funny. I'm not paying him any attention. But listen, the standard is a leader. You are exactly right. I agree with that. But when did we start equating to being a leader paying all the bills? Because listen, I don't mind. Well, let me just say why I'm saying this. And you got to work for my example, because I can only really, people run their households different. My husband and I, our money goes all in one pot. I work for my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was going to talk about.
Right.
That was the next thing.
We get ready to cut him off. I'm going to cut you off. Red hearts and different sides. I'm just kidding. I definitely want you to hit that link so I can talk to you in person, because you're funny. But I thank you so much for the super chat.
Well, what I was saying about the next part of it was the fact that he's the leader, so he is paying, or rather arranging the bills.
Oh, definitely.
So we put it in a pot, and he's directing where it goes.
Right.
So he's actually getting it paid. And I'm saying, as a masculine man, you want to have as much power as you can over your house.
Definitely. Well, let me ask you this question though. Oh, I didn't see. Just super chatted. Thank you so much. I don't see your. I didn't see your. Oh, that was the rainbow hair. Thank you for the white unicorn with the rainbow hair. That was his comment. His or her comment. I'm not sure. But this is what I want to know though. Since when did the women start dictating that the men pay all the bills though? How did that become a leader? If you don't pay it, you're not a leader, I guess.
Well, that goes with what we're doing now in this modern day.
Gotcha.
after generations of them seeing what is normal. It's a human trait.
It is something. That may not be his fault. He may have totally Streamlabs might be totally going crazy. But anyway,
Well, like I was saying, it's a trait for humans to start taking things for granted.
I got
So
you.
after years and generations of this is what he does, it becomes normal. And when something becomes normal, it's unaccountable. And it's basically something that happens. You're supposed to do that. And because you're supposed to do that, it's taken for granted.
Gotcha.
It's funny because I actually think, a lot of the men that I see comment, especially like the younger generation, I feel like a lot of them, constantly say that they don't even, have to have a woman that's gonna be so all the time traditional, right? Like they don't even care if she's gonna cook all the time. They don't care about this, they don't mind working and she works as well. They just want somebody that can cooperate. Because they're not getting the women to work with them at all. Like a lot of guys are like, we'll just take what we can get, a piece of the submission, a piece of some cooperation, because we're not getting anyone to work with us, period.
This is another super chat. This is from 2 Cents Uncensored. She actually says, hold on, let me get it back up here. Thank you so much for your $5 chat. It is raising the bar slightly. Money line for $5 and she's finna raise it. Here's the deal. Listen, TR baby, we love you. We appreciate all your super chats, but you're gonna have to download the song and enjoy it another time. We're getting ready to raise the bar. So if you ain't putting in $5, you don't get the song. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to go download that song yourself. But I appreciate the fact that you're here.
2 cents. First of all, love.
I know. I love her. Yeah. We're gonna have to increase the cross. You're right, Condemnia. We have to, because you just want to hear the song. But so that's what I'm trying to say. When did these women start to dictate? And so this is a true thing, because I'm thinking a man just needs to be a leader. How he decides to run his house is his business. If he wants to pay all the bills, a woman shouldn't dictate to him. Where as a man or as a leader, traditionally, that's what you have to do. So that's what I was just saying. Yeah, not because I heard you say it, and you were kind of equating traditional. Women want the traditional man, and then I'm assuming if the man says, "Well, I'm gonna pay all the bills," then I need a virgin. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they're asking for tradition, but they're not going in on their side of the
Money, life, business. You're gonna have to become a part of the show. You are here, and I need to read this chat. Thank you so much, the beautiful lie. $49.99 chat, super chat, and it is reasonable. Feminine women are rightly concerned with how a man treated his system in the past. Doctor's visits, illicit addictive drugs, homosexual relationships, etc. Why on earth would any man ignore what she allowed into her body? You're right. You're right. That including body count. We agree. No man should ignore. No man should. That's what we're trying to say, though, is body count more. Well, then let me ask you, Money, depending on that comment that was just made, do you ask the question?
Oh, of course.
When do you ask the question?
When do I ask the question?
Yes. When do you ask that question?
See, I don't date. What I have done in the past, I court. So I do it almost immediately. It means something to me.
Me and you were on a date. This is our third date, fourth date. Come on, tell me. Well, how many dates we got to go on before you ask me this question? I want to know. I want to hear how.
I'm telling you, when I deal with a woman, it's for courting.
Right.
So it's automatically off the bat. My job from the beginning of us interacting is deciding whether or not you are someone I want to marry. So almost immediately.
Okay, so tell me, what would you say? If you and I were courting.
Depending on the situation and how the person is, I would go straight to the point and say, how many sexual partners have you had?
Okay. Okay. So you would do it real grown up like.
Yes, we grown.
Yeah. Appreciate that. 23. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. Diddy does it again. All right. No, thank you so much. So back to money life business. I appreciate that because it would have to be in a very grown up way. I would think that a man, would not ask a woman, what's your body count?
No, I wouldn't. That wouldn't be appropriate.
Yeah, but I think that's so interesting because I feel like if a man is, I get courting is one thing, but I think that when men are dating a woman, and maybe they're not expecting, it to maybe, they're just kind of like seeing, like maybe it's gonna go far, maybe it's not, which I feel like is kind of the atmosphere that we're in. I feel like more times than not, a lot of men don't ask that question until they are invested, but I also feel like they don't necessarily ask that question. I feel like they get to a place and they're like, tell me about yourself. And because that woman is so connected, I think that woman
is gonna lie.
Is free. I feel like women who are really connected with you, are going to just freely give you like information that you're not even asking for. They'll be over, and talking to you and just being genuine with you and like, having that heart connection with you. But the reason why I'm saying that is because I genuinely think that it depends on the type of man that it is. I genuinely feel like certain men don't ask that question.
Will not ask. And then too, Money Lives Matter, Business Scout, sorry. This is done before you ever have any kind of relations with this person, correct?
As soon as possible.
Okay.
Okay. Relations or not relations, it has to happen.
Okay.
Because the courting and dating is two different things. And being as you don't believe, I'm not believing in dating, especially even though that's the times. You don't have to be with the times. You're going to be with the times and things are not working. What is that? Isn't that the definition of insanity? You see something doesn't work
over and over, and keep doing it, But
I don't know if I agree though.
I don't know if I do either because it's just different now as far as how you meet people. Because like it's just different now. Courting for me, like I use myself as an example. I dated my husband. I can't even say we dated. When we courted, we got married 6 months later. It was a very quick process. So I want to say that's courting. We were very intentional, but I met him 2 years prior. But I talked to him maybe 2 months and then I didn't talk to him for a year. But then when we talked again, it was time to get married, So I don't really know what you call it, but I met him in a nightclub, So it's like.
That's not normal, but.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Look, yeah.
But this was years back. Now, nightclub. Yes, he kicked down the door. He actually did. This is a real thing. For real.
Yeah,
he did. Money Life Business, please stay there for a moment. Bolo, how are you, sir?
I'm okay. How are you, SB?
I'm doing good. You sound like you're a little under the weather.
I'm just a little tired. Not under the weather.
I'm sorry to hear that, but thank you for being here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for allowing me on.
All
Hello,
right.
panel.
How are you?
So listen, Bolo, does reputation matter?
Yeah, reputation is everything. Your reputation precedes you, right? Your reputation will allow me and give me an inclination to who you are as a person, how I should proceed in, courting you and having conversations. So there's a reason why you have a reputation. There's a reason why you have a word, right? So if you hear that Bolo lies all the time, then, you're going to have a certain thought process and a certain mind frame towards when you talk to me. Towards when I say, don't worry, SB, I got you. I'm going to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning. My reputation. I think the conversations that we have as men pertaining to looking for a woman and all that stuff. I think, we have the conversations, but I think the conversations get really convoluted because if I'm on my journey and I'm doing what I need to do to make sure that I am that man on whom I need to be, I don't need to tell a woman what I need. I don't need to tell her that. So when I hear men speak, oh yeah, I need her to be this and I need her to do this, I don't need to tell my wife that. I don't need that because the standards that I hold my light is gonna show off what I'm about, and my vibe is gonna attract my tribe. So when I'm conversing with the woman and she sees the type of man that I am, she's either gonna match my fly or she isn't. So the choice is on me as a man to say, okay, I'm either gonna lower my standards or I'm gonna keep my standards and say, you know what, back to the drawing board. And it's the same thing with women. There's no need for you to have to tell a man, well, this is what I need. This is why the scriptures tell you that you find a wife. She automatically taps in. And when you find a wife, she should find a husband. So you should be tapped in. So the fundamentals of me being a man, leading, guiding, nurturing, providing, and sacrificing, she don't need to tell me that. So I don't need to tell her that I need you to be cooperative. I need you to be my pillar of rest. I need you to do this. If I find myself telling a woman that, then I got to keep it pushing. You can't make somebody something that they are not. It just doesn't make sense to me. So when I hear men all over the internet talking about, well, I need this and I need that, that's the problem. The problem is if I'm tapped into the Father, I don't need to tell a woman that because she's automatically going to be that. Because when these women come into my cipher, if you don't meet the standards that I'm pushing, then we're not having a conversation. But again, the last conversation that we had, it's us losing our patience. We don't want to take the time to stand strong and say, all right, man, I guess I'm going to have to go back into the trenches and find this woman. We lose our patience and say, you know what? Maybe I can make her into this, or maybe I can make him into this. You find a scorpion. You can't change the dude. You can't change her. She is what she is. That woman for you is out there. Just be patient enough to find her. And I think that's the problem that we're having because I'm hearing men saying, I need chicks that's going to work out. I need chicks that's going to do this. I need chicks that's going to do that. Well, the reason why you ain't find that chick is because you ain't on your purpose, G. Your vibe attracts your tribe. If I'm a rich man, there's no way a millionaire is going to hang out with thousandaires. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. So if I'm a man about my purpose and I'm a man on my grind, guess what? I'm going to attract like-minded men. So that we can grow. So if I'm a man on my grind, I'm looking for a wife because I'm intentional. I don't use sex for dating. I use sex for commitment. This is the vibe that I'm going to push out. So when these men keep saying, or these women keep saying, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm looking for, before you start looking outside, start looking inside. And I think that's where we need to start. I think that's where we start. Because once you know who you are, once you know your worth, you will demand your value. You will not settle. If you have a diamond worth $10 million and people are trying to offer you $2 million, you're going to be like, man, get out my face. This is worth $10 million. So if you know what your worth is, go out there and get your value. Don't settle. And that's for men and women. That's all I had to say.
Well, thank you, sir, for saying that's a lot. You said a lot. I think that Money Life Business agrees with you about they won't change. They're not going to change. I think you said that also, didn't you, sir?
No, they're not going to change.
Yeah, you said that in the chat, right?
Yes.
I thought I saw you say that. Definitely. Thank you so much for that, Bolo. That just gives us more work to do.
But also on the men's side too. It's not just the woman thing. It's on the men's side also that you have men that are out here that are not on their purpose, and you have and again, I'm an equal opportunity shooter. I shoot at women the same way I shoot at men. We're asking these women to give us biblical principle, and we carnal as hell. We ask these women to submit to us. What is she submitting to? Who are you? You're supposed to be the image. She is supposed to be submitting to the image of God, not no damn man. She submits to the image of God of who you represent. So before you ask her to submit, we need to submit. So again, it starts with the man.
So listen, let me give a shout out to the super chat. Condemnia says, okay, I'm gonna hit the super chat for Bolo because he's figured it out. Bolo, he said, you got it. You own it. He gave you the.
It's all about the father, man. And I think that's what our problem, I know that's what our problem is. Our
Yeah.
problem is we're trying to focus on each other and not focus on him. Because once that's the issue. The issue is when Moses said to the Lord, who should I say sent you? He said, I am that I am. I'm it all. Why are you going to try and find me shorty when you're talking to me, I give you access to the world? So who should you search for first? Him. Because searching for him first is going to give you access to who you are as a man or as a woman, so that when you do go out there, you're able to discern whether this woman or man is really saying or really true to what they're saying. A lot of us get caught up into sight. We got to start having vision. Vision is more than sight. It deals with all five senses. It deals with experience. It deals with tapping into the Father. It deals with getting advice from the elders. It deals with so much more. So with that, I'm going to say thank you so much. I love you. Say what's up to the boss for me in the chat. Thank you so much. And the panel, I love you guys, man. Keep that beautiful information coming out.
Appreciate Bolo.
Gracious, let me say thank you for that super chat and a shout out to you all. Just sending some love from across the pond. He's in the UK. We need more of those healthy marriages to have the mic.
It's late over there. It's like 2:30 over there.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. So
I wanted to say something.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
In response to what Bolo said. Okay, so I completely understand his perspective, and I completely understand him. You know, he's a man, so him putting the pressure on the men. You know, I think that it's meant to do that. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about things and we can say things, but I think it's order for men to talk to men about certain things. You know?
Yeah.
But one key thing that he said, I mean, there's a lot of things that he said, but one key thing that he said that stuck out to me is, you know, you're supposed to be the leader and you're supposed to be this and you're supposed to be that as a man. So he can't put it on anybody else. You got to put it on the men. But I have to say that a lot of the men are here in these spaces, having these conversations, doing the work, researching, listening to the stuff that women are saying, listening to the stuff that men are saying. But the problem that they're having is he who finds a wife, but there's no wives, because these women are not wives. Because when you see her, she's supposed to be a wife already. They're not already. They're not. That's the problem. They're out here thoughting, sneaky linking, 304 and, you know, creating, again, back to the topic, these horrible reputations for themselves. So these men are saying, I don't even know a woman who is without spot or wrinkle. Like, they all wrinkly. Like, they all wrinkly. They all out here showing it to everybody, you know? I do agree that, you know, as a man, you know, you're going to know. Men know. We know that. Men know who's for the night and who could possibly be for a lifetime, you know, and men test you. Okay. They watching you. They're looking at you. They watching you. They taking mental notes of everything that you do. And a lot of women don't realize that, but
Exactly.
they see what's good. Like, yeah, no, I would never marry her. After I saw her do that, or we had this conversation, I know for a fact that this could only go so far. You know, some men will cut it off and some men will continue, just knowing for a fact that this woman is never going to be that girl, you know? But I think that, you know, I think that there's, you know, some men that would beg to differ about certain things, just about the fact that, like, you know, there's men that can make any woman a wife. And when I say that, I'm not talking about the 304s. That's extreme. Okay, we're not talking about all the way to the extreme, but there's women, a man who walks in a certain authority, right? Because he's talking about men and their purpose, but a man who walks in a certain authority and a man who is so sure of himself, women will get into alignment with him. You know, he's not out here saying that he can't find a good woman. He's just picking which good woman he wants to be with. So I think that there's a difference. You know, I think there's a difference. And I think that one of the aspects that I think are a little bit unhealthy is sometimes men, and I said this before one time, I think that sometimes men, and I'm just going off of what I see sometimes in my comment section, think that a woman is going to come perfect. You don't have to work on nothing. You don't have to, get her into alignment with you. Even if she's a really great person or a great woman and she might have a little tweaks, you still have to mold her into the woman for you. And I think some men at the first sight of conflict might think that there is no molding, or there is no shaping, or there is no bending. And sometimes it's the opposite thing where, she does one thing. If you know this woman, if you're aware of this woman, if you know the nature of this woman, you know what is, okay, this is something that we have to talk about, or this is something that's not going to work. But to have like across the board, like we're not doing nothing, I'm not doing, there's a perfect woman out here, look at the girls on YouTube, I know that they're out there. So these women have to be perfect. I think that's a little bit of a fallacy, you know what I'm saying?
So let me just speak to it also, and then we're gonna let Moses have his point too.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you both. Okay, you and I agree with Bolo, because I think that men could be great. And I think that's what he's trying to say. I think he's saying that men are great and they hold more power than they know. As far as the relationship goes with a man and a woman, I think a marriage is what you make it. I think you need to have a woman that is willing to be a wife and to put everything into it to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
To make sure that she's your wife. So now the part about men looking for perfection, I think they have their preferences, and I just think that just may be a little immature. And the older they get without that woman, that they'll see that some of those things, and the more they're on their purpose, they'll see some of those things may not be as important. And they'll start either relaxing a bit on that, or I'm not going to say changing, because everybody wants someone that they're attracted to. But I think it'll start evolving and it'll look a little different. Well,
when I say perfect, I don't mean image though.
No, I don't mean either. I'm not whatever, like it could be. I'm just going for example. I have heard some men say they didn't want a dark-skinned woman.
That they didn't want that.
Did not. As a preference, they don't want a dark-skinned woman. But I think as time go on, the older they get, the more mature they get, they may meet a beautiful dark-skinned woman, and she'll be it.
I was just gonna say that too, because sometimes people be like, "Oh no, I don't want this," and then that's your wife. Like that's literally your wife.
Yeah, I hear young men say, really young men, like 18, 19, 20, 21, say it all the time. They don't want no dark-skinned woman. Don't give me no dark-skinned woman. I'm thinking, really? I can see that that's just immaturity speaking. But that it could be wrapped in a dark package and it'd be perfect. But I think they only see that once they get on their purpose a little bit more and realize what's important to them. And then they grow a little bit, learn a little bit more. And then all of a sudden that doesn't matter.
Right.
And I think the same thing with women too. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Money Life Business. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just want to interject that at that age, do their opinion about what women they want really count? Because at that age, they don't know what they want yet. So.
Well, I think it counts, because nowadays some of these YouTube, now listen, I have another channel called Rich Auntie, and on Rich Auntie, I talk to influencers. And when I say influencers, I'm talking about 500,000 to 1 million subscribers, followers and subscribers. You're talking about young men that are making lots of money, lots and lots of money, who are, when you have money, it gives you access. And what you don't want them to do is ruin their life. What you want them to do, their life can be quickly ruined. Yeah. Right. So you want them to be able to focus on the purpose of whatever it is they're supposed to be doing. But of course, there's women and girls out there. So you want to try to tell them the best that you can. And when I'm saying these things, that's, that may be just an immature statement that they make. I got to have, I got to have a red boy. I got to have a light-skinned woman. I'm just talking about things that they say. Yeah. But I want to say to you all, it's quite interesting that they all want to be married. And they think that we're crazy. Yeah, they do. They all want to be married. And I'm talking mostly men, mostly young men. Yeah. They all want to be married, and they think that we're crazy. They was like, this older generation, all y'all do is fuss. We ain't paying y'all no attention. But, they still say that they're interested in being married. So there is light at the end of this tunnel. I promise you. It's not like men don't want to be married. It's almost You know,
But
it's
the
not
men
like
are the
that.
ones that are here.
Yeah, it's not like that. So
Okay.
yeah, women, if that's the message you're getting, it's not true. Men do. And it's the next generation also. They do want to be married. So Neo Moses, how are you, sir?
I'm great. How about you guys?
Doing well. Thank you for being here.
No, thank you for having me. Bolo had dropped a hammer. I was like, how am I gonna go after Bolo? Oh my gosh. I said, Bolo, come on, Lapid. He be like, everything he says, all right, thank you for having me. I'm gone. I'm like, I just can't even compete with
Yeah.
that you know, it's funny, his name Bolo, my last name is Dolo, so it's Bolo and Dolo. My name is like right with his name. So I'm like, dude, that guy got the same name. I need him to be my mentor. But to the topic tonight on the representation of women in a relationship, I think it's such a good thing to know we're talking about this because we spoke on Rebecca's channel before and I came on talking about tattoo stuff, right? But I do believe it's probably deeper for women to understand like the body count thing is really a thing. I mean, we gotta understand these things, and I'll even share this, be transparent with y'all because I'm very big on that because my life is an example to young bloods out there to know you don't have to start living this lifestyle as a tiger. You want to be sleep around with multiple people. You don't got to do that. You know what I'm saying? I took that from Kevin, so shout out to him. But using the tiger method, you a tiger, you want to go be this tiger bachelor, it's not worth it. I mean, a lot of these young brothers, let's be honest, like you said, they want to get married, they want to be lions, but you got to find the right lioness, and they're out here. But the thing is, you're not ready yet. Even though I knew at 25 when I've been divorced for 25 years, I gave it to my first wife. That's who I was with all my life. 7 months didn't work out. Unfortunately, it wasn't ready for both of us. We weren't ready for that chapter. We both rushed based on indecisiveness and based off no family involved. We both decided, oh, we both grown. We know what we're doing. Go to the courthouse, sign the papers in Texas. We good. Next thing you know, oh no, we should have just been friends.
How
We
old were
got.
you?
I was 25 when I got married.
Hmm.
Yeah, we got over less than 7 months. I was 27 when it officially got. Well, it was 26 when it officially went over. They say both sides disagree when they break up. She left. I'll be honest. I was being very transparent. The thing is, it was based off different agreements, disagreements, and I think that was based off not similar views. It's like a bait and switch. You know, you said all the right things and she can get the man, but when it it came to be the case, I didn't know that she wasn't for it until it happens. Like you know the real story until you see the story come out in reality, and they say that, but they weren't worth that. You know, they weren't what they were saying. They weren't practicing that. But I realized after that relationship, 3 years of not dating, I just started working on myself. Um, I think men got to understand controlling yourself with your sexual discipline is a big thing. Been absent for 3 years. Thankful. Never went back to that life because like I said, I lost it only to one woman all my life, and that's because I'm being honest. These things are important. No, men are not doing that today, but we have older brothers, like I said, virgins, but they're out here. Shout out to Chicky. Um, we need more brothers doing this, and this is something that's real. We can do it, but we have to understand: are we aligning ourselves with the people who are in that same mindset to find them? Because let's all be honest, in the church, when you find those sisters trying to be
Mm.
Proverbs 31, I'll be honest with you. Even my pastor's Chinese, just so y'all know. Ain't nobody in my church my age to even consider for marriage. I'm just like, I'm looking around, but I'm like, Texas is getting dry out here. Like the sun, it's gonna be so bad.
What part of
Um,
Texas do you live in?
East Fort Worth.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm all over the place. I'm not just there. But the thing is,
Wait, still, that's like city. That's why I'm like, wow.
yeah, it's something. But for now, it's just I gotta probably start looking around, maybe move to Dallas. But
Dallas,
it's
yeah.
yeah, it's interesting out here because I know I was saying Chattel's over there in Dallas. But the thing is funny, I've started noticing with the representation is that the questions are so big to them, they don't even answer. I like, body counts, like, oh no, 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 I don't talk about. I'm like, hold up. I thought we were trying to talk on intentionality for marriage. Now I get that a lot. I thought, okay, I didn't know it was that bad till I asked that question. So I don't know. It tells me something else. 'Cause I had put up a post on Facebook saying, would you deal with a traditional woman or a modern woman? A lot of brothers said, oh, the modern. I'm like,
Mm.
y'all about to play some games with your lives because that
Mhm.
50-50 don't work. That's how they ended divorce. And I was traditional, but it wasn't a traditional woman. It was a false traditional. It was, I say, the problem is you got to really test them. And plus, know their family. I always tell people, you may not know their father if they're not there, but look at their mother's relationship with them, the auntie, the uncles. Who are the men in their lives that they respect? if they respect that person as a man. You know what I'm saying? Because men have to be a certain level of respect for them to know the value of you as a man, because that really tells me right there, we see that standard because like God said, we see a woman, if we seek a wife, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. We got to understand how she understands the value of a husband to know that, because she can say she wants marriage, but she don't want to be a wife. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
We can set it all day, but what do y'all think about that? Because there's so many like that. I've met that, and I'm thinking that's the common standard these days.
Well, I got a question for you. What did
Sure.
you miss? What did you miss about her? Seems
What
like
do
you
I?
missed one about your ex-wife. You got to know the family. You didn't. Your dad wasn't there, but you knew the
No,
mother.
I didn't meet the family. She didn't meet my family.
Oh,
We just jumped the broom. We went there and just said,
oh, gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha.
we just said, you know what, we were mature. We know what we talking about. We got counsel, premarital counsel, went that way. But the problem is, we didn't get enough therapy, not therapy, right? Therapy. We didn't get enough premarital counseling enough to know if we were for sure we were choosing. But
I
even
don't
people
think that
told
was.
us, what's that?
I don't think that was the issue.
What was the issue?
One thing that I will say is very important is bloodline. That's very important. You gotta know what her mama like, what her grandmama like, what her aunties like, what her cousins like. I think that's something that's very important. Of course, you're gonna have situations where maybe that person didn't come from their actual family or something, but sometimes there's some stuff that you could see with the people that are around her
Mm.
that you're like, or the people who raised her, that you can look and be like, okay, I have deeper insight to who this person is. But
Right.
I think that one of the major issues is that you're a nice guy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, I don't think that's the case. I'm gonna tell you something. You may say it on screen. To me, my personality may seem like that, but I'm pretty military. If you don't know that.
No. It's funny because you actually remind me of somebody that I know who's actually in the military.
Yeah.
But when I say a nice guy, I mean like you sound like you're really connected to like your beliefs, and
Yeah,
that
I'm a
that's
Christian.
the standard. You ordered that situation where you guys are gonna go to. I'm not saying that as a disrespect at all.
No.
You guys went to premarital counseling. You were trying to do the right things, and then you said that switch flipped.
Mm-hmm.
Then she became somebody else. It's because maybe,
Bait and switch. Yeah.
she had some stuff going on. She probably, was she the same age as you?
Oh no, she's 2 years older than me. I was 25. She was 27.
I had
Oh,
a feeling.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I was gonna say I was
Bored,
very mature.
probably bored now. Probably, in her past, she was probably, about that life. And then she see maybe the girls out there having fun, and she realized maybe I didn't really want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that your mindset of how you are, like, you can attract a really nice woman
Of
Yeah.
course,
who
I
would
believe it.
definitely get on your page. But I don't think that, before you even said that she filed for divorce, I could have, figured. Because most of the divorces come from the woman, right?
Women.
Most of the women are the ones that are filed
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
divorce.
Yeah.
But one thing, you said that when you guys broke up, that you were like, maybe we should have just been friends. She would. For me, I just feel like she probably had a lot going on,
Yeah.
and like you said, you didn't know that, and she came with all that stuff. And I think the best thing that you did was, did you have children?
No. Thank God.
Right.
No.
That's the best
No.
thing, is that you didn't have children and that you let that situation go and you didn't fight for something. Because there's some men who are in those situations and see what it is and still fight for it out of shame, embarrassment. We done got married. We might as well just stay together. And then they're trying to transform this woman who is just not it.
Of course. Yeah.
And
Then I'll
go
add this to what you're saying to piggyback off with that. She also was, and I'm just sharing this for partiality stuff, not partiality, but I'm saying partial stuff. I'm gonna share not a lot of it, but
right.
I've noticed the home was broken. Father was, abused the mother. I know domestic violence was there. I didn't question that. I thought maybe she matured and I didn't ask about therapy, but that was something I think men have to really ask. Have you gotten therapy? Have you gotten checked in your past? Have you been hurt before? I mean, those are things that factor in a relationship, because if you do not check those things that hurt, it's gonna come back and revert on the next person. Because I don't know if people realize, you really gotta know someone's past based on family, even if they're not perfect. There's situations that may have happened that you don't know until you ask certain questions. Like there's a book I just bought on Audible, not Audible, what's it called, Kindle. And I just bought a book for premarital questions, and those questions were really fire because I now know what to ask. to know protecting myself so I don't fall for that trap. Because like I said, I waited 25 years to be a married man, and I got saved at 19 to be a Christian, been a believer in Christ. I was like, I'm gonna marry somebody that's on the same page, have a fly honey, being a wife, have a beautiful legacy for the Lord. Waited to 25, gave this girl my V card. Now she took it and rejected it. I'm like, what the heck am I going through?
Yeah, that's a big problem too. That's a big problem.
That was so hurtful. I mean, that was tough. I mean, I was battling a lot after that because nobody wants to go through that and then be saying, oh, what happened? How'd y'all go? No, I ain't talking about it because those things really bother men. Like, yo, she wasn't even honest because I had found some things out after the relationship. I mean, yo, how you gonna tell me you went $100,000 in debt after the relationship's over? And the funny thing, she didn't get my last name. Thank the Lord. That didn't happen because if that happened, I would have been in debt paying that back. Who would have known?
So let me say this. You said a lot. Oh, no, you go ahead. Yeah, because go ahead. I got a lot. Go ahead. No,
Yeah.
Neo Moses.
Yep.
Let me tell you something. I'm so glad that you came on this platform because we have these conversations and I say it all the time. You know, people talk about this whole courting thing. And this is not to you, money, life, business. I'm not talking about you. You know, I'm talking about in general on videos, right? People talk about courting and like, 3 months, 6 months, and like you should be married and da-da-da-da. But I always ask, is the goal just to get people married? Because it can end in divorce. You can meet somebody and marry them in 3 months or 6 months, ask them all the questions and still get divorced right after. Or is the goal to have long-lasting marriages, long-lasting marriage relationships where people are actually happy with one another and whole individuals that come together, and form a union? Because what you just said, they were doing the right thing. It was trying to do the right thing, supported her, they went to counseling, they got married, and then like, I'm out. We don't want this type of, because divorce trauma is a different type of hurt.
It
when
is.
it break up, it's bad.
It's
That
like a death.
divorce hurt, that's hurtful.
Like a death in the family.
Especially somebody who loves God, because they're like, we've had these vows. Like, we
Gracious,
said it.
let me say thank you for the super chat. Gracious, thank you so much for your super chat. I will go back and read your comment in just a few minutes. But I got a thought. I got to tell you this, y'all. Let me get it. The foundation is essential. The foundation for your marriage is essential. It keeps going away. The foundation is essential. I think that it's important for the families. I'll go back and read that comment in just a minute. It keeps going on. There we go. The foundation is essential. I think it's important for the families, relatives, the right mindset, to all of that, to vet any potential significant other that one is considering. You are exactly right. But let me add something to this, y'all, because I'm going to tell you one thing, and then I'm going to tell you a solution to divorce. I'm going to give you a solution for divorce. Y'all ready for a solution for divorce?
Oh, this should be interesting.
Yeah.
It's so simple, it might blow your mind. But going back to what I want to say to you is, people in a marriage, and I said this earlier on in this live, a marriage is what you make it. Okay? It's all about what you make it. It's all about what you're willing to put into it. It's all about that. No one person is going to get everything they need out of it just on face value. Neither person will do that. It's going to require work, because the work of it is becoming one. You're not going to find a person, and if you do, please call me and tell me. You're not going to find a person that doesn't have some amount of dysfunction in their background. You're not going to find them. But if you do, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, the only way around it is if you're marrying somebody really young. But then I question that, because if you're marrying somebody really young, that's a certain amount of dysfunction too, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hold that thought. So the point I'm trying to make real simple, I'm going to tell you how you end divorce. My pastor, he's passed away now. He told us one time, we used to do marriage classes and all that stuff. He said, listen, the only reason why people get divorced, y'all wait for this, is due to selfishness. You're coming to a point where you say, I don't want to no more. I'm putting me first. That's as simple as it is. If you want your marriage to work, selfishness cannot be in it. It has to be all sacrificial. I don't care what it is. If you want it to work, okay, wait a minute, not the serial killer. Okay, wait a minute, y'all. Give me
Right.
give me some grace on the serial killer. But we already know though. If somebody came to me today and told my husband was a serial killer, I would question him. No, he's not. You got to go show me the video. I would say, no, that's not him. Sacrificial. If you're not ready to sacrifice going into a marriage and know that the vows say to the end, better or worse, then you may not be ready to be married because there's really no way out. It is a broken heart because it's not supposed to break. It's supposed to become one. That's the real thing. You listen, no matter what she did, no matter how she became the chameleon in the middle, it was a growing pain. You picked her. That was supposed to be something for you to learn and go through. That didn't mean she had to live in it. She didn't have to live in it. I get what you said. Money.
You know I gotta disagree.
You can disagree all you want. I done told you how to get over it. It's just real. I'm not saying you can't be selfish, but that's the breakup.
And that's why
I agree.
When you put your foot down and said no more, what are you doing at that point?
Yes,
I think sometimes you need to protect your mental health against these people. And
Go
sometimes
get-
you have to choose yourself first.
I'm not saying don't protect your mental health. Go lay on the couch, go get whatever you need. That does not mean you have to get a divorce. Because
I
agree.
To a certain point.
People can change.
To a certain point.
Okay, we already done. Listen, I told y'all can't be with the serial killers. We're not going to be abusive. I'm not talking about that.
That's why.
No, it's not just that though. It's not just that.
I'm just saying, let's take that off the table.
Yeah, not just that. It's emotional baggage. It's their own traumas, their own mental health issues. You know,
it's all what you're willing to take. It's all what you're willing to take.
Sometimes, especially, it's about a toxic environment in front of your children. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to walk away.
No.
For real.
No,
like sometimes it's necessary to walk away. Like
that I don't believe.
I think they get counsel.
I think you can pour into that situation and change it.
Yeah.
This is just my thoughts. I'm just telling you what makes a marriage work. There's no perfect individual. There is a reason for everything. You know, Rivah, whatever you going through in your life or been through in your life, you went through it for a reason and it created you, it molded you, it shaped you, whatever it was. And that's who you are now. Now, if I have to have empathy for you, compassion for you as your husband to figure out what is making Rivah, act this way, that's what I got to do. I can't just be like, look, I'm tired of her acting a fool. I'm out of here. You may literally have an imbalance.
But I think that we can say, I think that, and this is going to sound, maybe not everybody gonna like what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I'm Rivah and I tell the truth. Okay,
Tell the truth. Mm-hmm.
I think that as women we can say that because as women we are compassionate and we are so understanding and we are so when we're in love. I see the men making faces, but it's when we're in love. When a woman is committed to you, she gonna ride. Like she just said, somebody come knock on her door and say your husband did this. She's like, no, he didn't.
I'm like, you gotta tell me when.
You know what I'm saying? Like. When a woman is in it, she's in it. That's why you can say, like, why you keep going back to Pookie? Why you keep going back to Ray Ray? Why you keep having all these kids? Like, when a woman is invested in a man, she's there. So I think it's a little bit different. But I think for men, the reason why I'm saying this, and it's the women who are filing for divorce. It's not the men.
Men don't leave.
Men are more loyal. Men are more loyal.
It's there. But I think that sometimes that woman leaving, because a woman is going to leave. The men, we don't even have to tell men. I feel like we don't even have to have this conversation with men because they don't leave. But women, if that woman, Sister Shahrazad Ali said it very perfectly. She said, if a woman cannot get on your page as a man and cannot respect you, you need to be with a woman who can. And I think that's so valid because sometimes you can be in a relationship. The world is hard enough. Life is hard enough. I don't think that it's right that we should subject people to be locked into something to go through hell every single day. Like some men are really out here and the highest rates of people taking themselves out is men because they endure. I think that the way to solve getting divorced, in my opinion, this is my opinion, is knowing who you're with. I feel like a lot of people get into relationships and get married and don't know each other. They don't really know that person. Neo Moses.
There's no way you can know that person. There's no way you can, because
there's ways that you can know certain details and certain aspects of each other.
But it doesn't matter. This is coming from 26 years of putting in the work. It doesn't matter. Everything I knew about my husband coming in was a 30-year-old young man. He is not the same man now.
Yes.
You know, I knew what he went through. I knew his dysfunction, knew everything, knew about his first wife and everything, but I still had to adapt to who that man was. Now, going back to your first point.
Hold on, really quick. I just want to say, but two quick things before you. One thing I want to say is just, I think that there's a difference between somebody completely changing. You know, he didn't change his core values. He didn't become, you know what I'm saying? He evolved and he grew, but he didn't change. And you woke up one day and were like, who is this man in my house?
So are you saying like you married a Christian and then he became a Muslim?
Just became an atheist.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Your core values were similar, you know? And I also think that it's the reason why people are getting married too. Like, if you're married to somebody who was attached to your purpose, it's a different relationship. If you're married
I got what you're saying on that. That may be a little trying, but that I don't know how that would even happen. But hold on for a minute. Hey, Kosha, how are you? Money, life matters. You are correct. So listen, Kosha, we're gonna drop the link and come on up. But Rivah, I still think, because see, I happen to think we're not in control. So when I submit, I truly submit. So I'm out here just like, use me, you know.
Right.
That's just me. So yeah, I am. That's who I am. So when things happen, I'm telling y'all, I feel like they're happening for a reason. So if for some reason my husband flipped out like that and you know, core beliefs actually changed, I would be thinking this is a mental illness. We need to get him some help. I would not divorce him, but if I had to separate for reasons being safety or what have you, I would definitely do that.
Yeah.
But I would, so I'm agreeing with you on that. Cheryl, how are you? I'm definitely agreeing with you on that. But I'm talking about divorce. I just think things happen so quickly and so often that we don't give people we don't give things time to happen. And then we get mad, we get upset. Do you know how many women have left their husbands?
But I think that you are, so I agree with what you're saying, because I think that we're talking about two different aspects. I'm kind of talking about the drastic stuff, you know, because situations do happen where I do think it is necessary, you know.
But that's very low.
I think that you're talking about the people who, when the going gets tough, they run. They treat it like it's a relationship and not a marriage.
But that's normal.
That aspect, I definitely do agree. You know, one thing happens and then they run.
It's fight or flight.
Why did you get married? Because you wasn't married for long.
Yeah, that's that. And listen to this. This point here, Idris says, "You understand covenant." I definitely do. My marriage, you know, the promise is with someone else. It's not, you know, I'm supposed to be faithful and committed to my husband. I got somebody bigger and higher that I got to make sure I'm good with. So that's why I say to you all, I just think things happen. I'm not in control of anything. So I submit to it. So if like I said, my husband's bugging out. Now there are some things, if there's some controlled substance coming in that is altering, we got to do something about it. I'm not saying don't do something about it.
I'm gonna drop a bomb for y'all. Okay. I was married when I was 21. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And shouldn't have been married. Okay. Was married because my family was like, we don't believe in no shacking up. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to be together if y'all don't get married. Okay. Got married and stayed in a horrible, toxic situation because of that, because of my heart, because of the covenant that I made, because of, you know, me not wanting to disappoint God and, you know, break the bond that we have and trying to work things out.
Can you tell me a little bit?
Yeah.
Are you willing to tell me a little bit more?
Abuse.
Like physical abuse?
Physical abuse.
Oh, it's gone. It's done. We already said it.
I don't know if it was you know, some kind of stuff but I don't even know what was going on. But you know, that's why I'm saying that a lot of people get into situations for various reasons. That's why I'm saying I think that the reasons that people get married really matter to sustaining a relationship. You know, if Money Life Businesses was getting married to Ashley, okay, and Ashley is like, I really care about money, life, and business. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, me too. And it's like they have these core values. And he's like, you know, I'm really big on courtship. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be with you and not get married. And Ashley's like, me too. You know, they have these core values that are going to keep them connected because it's a bigger thing than just feelings. You know, a lot of people now are treating relationships like marriages like relationships. Okay, we'll just get married in 6 months, and because you know that's what I want to do because that's what's you know sounds good, and then they end up divorced, and then they're gonna just keep getting married and divorced and repeating the same exact cycle. So that's why I say like if a woman is attached to your purpose, it's a different relationship. You know, some people both get married for business. You know, they think that this is a great move. They look at marriage as a business contract. And they abide by it. They're good. Some people are deeply in love and connected to each other and they get married for that. You know, but when people get married for like, oh, he's cute, I'm cute, you know, the Christmas cards will be cute, the wedding will be fun, my baby's gonna have good hair, this is not a good ground.
Is love a good ground to be getting married? Because love is a fleeting emotion.
It is.
I think you need more with that. I think you need.
So listen,
I think you need more weight than just that. Your core values have to be the same.
So money life business. Go ahead and we're going to have some other people come up, but I want to hear what you're saying about that because I think women definitely do marry for love, and I'm not talking so much about the emotion. I'm talking about something deeper. But I want to hear what you're saying for that, and then I'm gonna let you go. And thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
And I want to hear your last thoughts on that, though, because you did say it's an emotion, but it's deeper than that for women as far as marriage goes. What gets you to the pastor? So go ahead.
I tend not to agree with that, being as we can say that women are the ones that file for divorce most. They might say 70 to 80% of the time.
Yeah.
Men are the ones that stay in the relationship. Now, it's not because of love that men stay in a relationship. Men stay in a relationship because of duty.
Oh no, I agree with you with that. I said love gets you to the pastor. It doesn't keep you. Love is not going to keep you for 26 years. There had to be something else going on between me and my husband besides love.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I was.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand. That was just my first part of it.
Oh, okay.
The second part of it is being as love on the female part is one of the main things that holds the gel together. Since love is a fleeting emotion, they fall out of love. And because they fall out of love, the other things isn't the glue that holds it together. The main thing in a woman's mind generally is that there's love. And when that leaves, there's not enough to hold the relationship together. So they might say that there's the toxicity of the relationship and there's other things, and they're not thinking of the duty. The duty is what makes you say, okay, I'm going to go to the marriage counselor. You go to the marriage counselor because of the duty. We made this union, this covenant, we're supposed to keep it together. So we're going to do some work. But once you're out of love, the love is, the glue is gone. So you're already searching mentally how to exit the relationship. And the toxicity is quite frankly an excuse.
Right. But you know what? Thank you for that. There's about 7 types of love, and the Logos love is supposed to keep you going because that's what men are supposed to do for women. That's actually what a man's job is for a woman, is to love her. And a woman is supposed to submit. In a marriage, that's how it's supposed to go. A man is supposed to love and a woman should submit.
Absolutely, I agree.
That's exactly how it should go. But I agree with you because I know exactly what you're saying, and you're exactly real. I can't take it no more. I understand. I understand. But guess what? It goes back to this selfishness.
Yeah.
No matter what, you just summed it up. But listen, I thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I hope you subscribe to the channel. I definitely want you to come back. Get smash that button so you can get these lives, because I would love to have you come up because I love your perspective. And you're a grown man. Plus. right. So thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you soon.
Okay.
All right, money. Peace.
Moses, listen,
Yeah.
what you over there agreeing with me? You know what? It took me a moment, but I remember the headphones. Is it Rebecca?
I need to switch these headphones. It's too memorable.
Don't do it. Don't do it, because otherwise I may not remember. But I do remember you now. I do remember. You talked about the tattoos. I do remember. So,
Yeah, and I
do.
understand. I understand everybody has different perspective, and I'm gonna give you my blue pill response.
Oh no, you didn't.
Oh, he changed the light. No, he didn't.
I'm gonna show you my blue. I'm gonna give my blue pill response. The thing is, we men. I did it for some effect, but you know what? It's all good.
That's all. It's all good.
I think we have to understand what the perspective of women coming to marriage. I think with men too, we have to understand when the first 3 months. I'll share this story. The first 3 months, I started seeing nothing wrong, but I think when we start understanding someone's habits and how they live, then you start really get to see if that person is really understanding where they are in their relationship. I think understanding is a big part of knowing, does this person really want to be in that situation? Because I think it's always good to ask questions like knowing what their personal views on values. I mean, that's what we talked on earlier, right? You said knowing their family's background, the grandma, the aunties and stuff. But I don't think, because like I said, even as a divorcee, I felt a lot of shame because I think a lot of people just made it seem like I'm not good goods. I'm like, dude, it's always looked at as upon like the guy's the one that makes all the bad decisions. But it's like, no, I actually didn't. I actually made sure to meet I was wanting to meet the parents, but there's a reason why people don't want to meet families, because of domestic violence in their parents. Like, I don't want to meet them. I'm like, why not? I'm like, you got to understand, people have a hidden past with family they don't want people to meet. And I think my perspective was, as a 25-year-old who was ready to get married, was the fact that I learned that I wish it was more time to just be patient and learn that I should have never done that. But that's not the biggest picture. Well, it's the biggest thing I've learned. But knowing that story, I had to fight a lot of things in myself to get through the fact that this story should have been something I didn't know how to deal with till I went through some counseling, and therapy is important. I think really men, they bottle the emotions a lot. And my father and my mother, very supportive. We need those things to talk about and be open about. And I'm not sharing this on YouTube just to put it out there because I want views, but I think because I need stories like this to be heard. And I mean, a lot of young black guys, we got to make sure to be honest about these things, because it doesn't sit in the past as a place of residence. It's a place of reference to show people, like I said, young bloods to know, don't make the same mistake I made. And I mean, as a Christian too, the Lord is good, protecting me. And I thank God for every day being alive, because without my Lord Jesus Christ, I wouldn't have made it this far right now at 29, because I thought I was going to be paying alimony, and Lord have mercy, I didn't even know how that worked. And I didn't know how my dad's African. He's like, Moses, that girl is from New Jersey. You know what's going to happen? Moses, you are going to be paying the lawyers. You know they're going to come for you. I said, Dad, relax. He's in Minnesota freaking out. Like, I said, Moses, that girl doesn't, you know where she's from? New Jersey. The people are crazy. I was like,
you know what, Moses? You go back to the point of what the topic is, because if you would have known or developed or had an idea about the family's reputation, I think that's what you're saying. You probably would have second guessed your decision to marry her. Would you have said that? You think you would have?
I would have.
Okay.
I would have second guessed, even though she was a lot of things I prayed for. And be honest with you, ex-model, but the problem was
I knew she had an old fat booty. I knew that's what it was. Tell the truth.
Hey, no, even though she was Trinidad Dominican, that don't mean nothing. But that.
Oh man, you should have led with that. No.
No, yeah, that's Cardi. Yeah, that was Cardi.
Get you.
That was Cardi B's seventh cousin, I guess.
Yeah, that's what made him feel like that they had a connection.
Yeah. Cardi B spirit was in that one. She was running wild.
That's why they need to relax on them preferences and all them, for that reason alone.
But I wasn't looking for that though. I took the conversation as a woman, a guy wanted to be a wife, and that's what I was given. It's funny because she told me everything I wanted to hear and got me just like that. And I thought, man, I was in the best decision, I thought. But then I realized, Lord have mercy, what baby Jesus, come save me, because this ain't what I need to deal with.
What's the song? You can't trust the big butt and a smile. You, Moses,
No,
she had
no.
you.
Let me tell you something. I come across so many sisters now I've talked to in the past, and now has some headaches or something. Told me one particular told me, she said I cannot meet her mother because mom and dad divorced. It's like I can't meet her mother because she doesn't want them to meet because she felt like there would be another story where she tells them, oh, they didn't work out. She don't want to be that kind of situation. But she's like, the only time you'll meet my mom is we're engaged. I'm like, what? I'm not doing this again. Like I said, bye.
Oh wow. She wants you
Yeah,
to engage her before you get to see the family.
yeah,
But
like
that's what I'm
engaged.
saying too. I
So
think that
whatever happened to asking for her hand in marriage?
And that's what I was thinking. I was like, how's that gonna work when they ask for their blessing? You can't get that just not meeting your family. That don't make sense. Like, are you fearful of them because you're telling them that rejection? It will be something they'll tell you, like, "Oh, I wish you guys were together. I wish you didn't break up." Like, what you worry about their opinion? Like, I'm tired of hearing them. I'm like, okay, but that's your family. You can't change them. That's how they are.
Mm,
Yeah, she's it.
listen.
Look, I've seen so many stories. I'm just to a point where I'm like, let me not say this, but I'm just to the point where I'm like, look, I'm patient with everybody. I'm not those kind of guys that say I'm not dating black women. I'm not saying that because trust me, I've dated a majority black women, and I only been with one non-black. That was an Asian woman. That was once. Let me tell you that now because that wasn't even. I'm like, okay, nothing different, just another person. But the thing is, we got to understand that people got to be upfront about these stories. We got to know their families. But I think for me, it's just, look, I don't like people assuming that guys who go through divorce are not good. I think there's always a story to know what the heck happened. And I'm not gonna speak bad on
yeah,
my ex. Like I don't speak ill will about her. But the thing is, it was just some things that she was dealing with that was there that wasn't my situation. I knew how to handle. I was coming in to play Doctor Miami 2, whatever, Doctor Miami or something. I was trying to play that role, like fix her up. Like I can't fix this.
I want to say
Oh,
Like
something.
I was being the father to a girl in the marriage. I'm like,
I
how can
want
I?
to say something too
Yo,
because Security Boss said that in relationships, the problem for the reason why people get divorced is because of selfishness,
yeah,
and it doesn't mean that it's both parties that became selfish.
oh
All
no.
it takes is that one person to disregard the other person, and you're already down a bad road. And so
hmm
that's so true. And because you can tell your intentions were good, you really in it for the long haul. You're ready. But I think that one of the biggest aspects is that a lot of younger generation. When I say younger generations, I mean a lot of people don't understand the vetting process and don't even know what to even look for. Okay, don't even know what the red flags even are. They're taking things for face value because they just don't have maybe the tools or like the actual full experience, and don't really know. Because when I come back, I'm gonna use myself for an example. I come back and I would, I used to tell people stories after. They'd be like, "Oh my gosh, like you duh, hello, yeah, he was tripping. Like he shouldn't have. No, you shouldn't have done." But I couldn't see it because I didn't know. I didn't know I was supposed to be looking for something. I didn't know that this wasn't how it was supposed to be. I thought that I'm just holding it down.
Yeah,
Right? I thought
that's
I'm just
that's a
doing my
hard that's a hard thing though. It's really hard because no marriage is the same. And sometimes you go through certain things to get to a place.
yes.
So sometimes some things may not look right. I'm gonna give you an example of something, and this is just a lightweight example. And one day, I've said this before. My husband doesn't like to say, he doesn't like to apologize. Alpha men don't like to come back and say they're sorry
Mm.
or apologize. They don't want to do that.
Mm.
They'll do things now. I'm not saying that he'll just be dismissive of me or whatever, but he'll do things like he might go get dinner, or he might go clean my car. He might, he'll just go do something to say, I know I messed up. Here you go, right? So we had a little, not an argument. It wasn't an argument, but he did something, but he was wrong, right? So instead of me allowing him to do that, I went and bought him some cologne, and I didn't say anything about it. I just put it on the counter and just walked away. Didn't say anything about it. It took him almost like 3 or 4 hours before he noticed it. He was like, "What's this?" I said, "Oh, you were wrong. So I went and bought you a gift." And he was like, that just messed him up completely.
Throw
It
him
messed
off.
him
He's
up.
like, "Wait, what?"
How dare you?
I was
Yeah.
supposed to go get
Right.
this.
Yeah. He was like, now what? Because now it's like, now what? because I guess nothing I can do. Yeah. So sometimes you have to throw people off, because if you continue to respond to the craziness, we're going to say the craziness, like you said, yeah, sometimes you have to have empathy, meaning the understanding of what is happening here. And then you can flip it on them, because you're the only person that can change in this situation. You can't change them. But if you can show them who they are, then you'll get a different response. Does that make sense?
Yes. And I think that that's when you also, okay, for example, that example you made, perfect. With that example, I think that's how you see the true nature of the opposite person that you're dealing with. Because I think that if you're trying every avenue, okay, to respond to the madness that's going on, I think that's when you know what it really is. Because as much as we know that a lot of women file, a lot of men are done. And that's why they're done in the relationship, but they stay out of duty. But the woman doesn't feel the way that she probably wants to feel from him. So she's creating all of this chaos until she says, you know what, I'm leaving. And he's like, okay.
I get that, because women do. When they don't get their way, they will create chaos instead of fighting the chaos with what's real. See, we don't try to understand each other. You have to have compassion. Men carry a whole different type of load than women. We be all into, did you leave your sock? Did you track mud in the house? The mud is dry now. It's time for you to get it up. We like, they be like, oh, damn, the car insurance due. I ain't got no money. It's a whole different type of
thing. Their mind is focused on way more important things.
Way different.
We focus on the important things and a lot of trivial things.
Yeah, and then what if it's that type of person that came from the dysfunctional household, who didn't see the father figure take care of things, and he's just figuring out his way, and then you bring in all the foolishness instead of having empathy, understanding that he doesn't want to hear this right now. Right. And then allowing him to be the man and just making a comfortable area for him. And then maybe you all can get back to whatever it is in a few minutes.
I agree. Especially when it's trivial. But too much empathy in relationships can get you hurt. Man,
really?
Somewhat.
And I don't mean hurt as in just your feelings hurt. I mean like for real, in real life. You got to know when it's above you. Okay. You got to know when the traumas and the issues from that other person is above you.
Okay, but wait a minute. I'm saying just understanding them. I ain't not trying to fix it. Empathy is just understanding how that person works. That can be nothing but helpful to a woman, because you should know when to talk, know when not to talk, know when to walk out the room, know when to go down the street, all of that, if you have that type of empathy, because that's you understanding that makeup of that man. When his face is looking off, it's time to exit the building. Yeah, that's not good.
I agree with that. But what I'm saying is I also think that some women, some people, I can't even say women, because I think it's some people have, they lead with their heart, so that empathy makes them feel a certain way, and that can transcend over to some fine lines, because then it goes into, oh, he didn't mean to, he's going through something, let me just leave him alone. I understand that he's having a tough time, now he's drinking, or I understand he's having a tough time, now he's yelling, now he's screaming at me, now he hitting me, but I understand because it's my fault.
Oh no, that's not empathy. That's what you call that when you're being an enabler. What do you call it? When you're relying on somebody else, that's toxic. What do you call that? I'll tell you in a minute. I had to think about it. But I'm gonna think about that. But Moses, I'm going to go ahead and give you your last, because we've been here for a while. So go ahead and add your last idea or thought that you want to leave us with. And we definitely want to see you again, of course. But give us that final thought. And I want to say this before you go. You're rolling up on 30, and often men marry 2 times before they get it right.
2 times, man.
I am my husband's second wife.
Okay.
So you did nothing wrong. You just didn't know what you were doing.
Well,
you had no idea.
Thank the Lord. I'm going to heaven.
Oh, listen, We're in the right.
I'm going to heaven.
Oh.
Second heaven.
That's right. And it sounds like, oh, okay, y'all ain't helping me. It's codependency. You're exactly right. She has her traumas and she's loving the abuse and understanding it and making it her fault. That's what you're talking about, Riva.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Codependency.
Yeah.
She has her own drama and he's feeding into it and she's understanding and accepting the abuse. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and vice versa.
I'm just talking about
basic understanding of the other person.
Empathy, understanding that they tick a certain way, and it should be helpful because it should guide you to your next step, which needs to be out the door if it's abuse or whatever.
Right.
But that's all I'm saying. No, not
knowing that person, understanding.
Because people grow up in different things, different dysfunction, right. And I may not understand a loud household because I didn't grow up in one. Mm-hmm. But when he gets loud, I need to understand, oh, you grew up in an old loud household. he just tricked me. I need to understand that.
Right.
So let me go over this. We did a poll earlier today. It says, does body count matter more when you are in your 20s or in your 30s? What do y'all think?
30s.
30s. Shoot. It says 41% said it matters more when you're in your 20s.
Yeah, I think so too.
20s and 30s.
I think the reason, because by the time you're in your 30s, what you did in your 20s is going to be in your 30s. That's what's going to matter.
You carry it. You carry it with you, but when you get in your 30s, it's going to just be more. But I think more people probably took it as the older we get, the less it matters.
Oh, the older we get, the less it matters.
The more mature, like what I said earlier, the older you get, the less you ask the question, because it's all about asking the question.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, I would say the older that you get, what they talk, what Godfather say, danger zone. After a certain point, nobody asking that
wall. Who knows? Ain't nobody asking that question. That's how they took it. That's definitely how they took it. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, Moses. Yes, you are making it in, but the other part I want to say to you is men usually find that good thing around 30.
I hope so, because I'm praying for that. Let's be honest. It's tough out here. There's a lot of stuff I've seen, and a lot of stories, actually. A lot of friends telling me they've seen some crazy things in their journey in the dating life. And
share one with me. Share one thing if you can. Share a quick one. Share one quick thing with me.
Like what?
Some crazy things in their dating life. One quick one. This one quick.
You sure you want to hear it? Okay.
Can't be worse than sneaky links.
Look, tell me why my boy, I wanted a date, right? Went to Chili's, met this girl off this dating site, had exchange. Now they went to the date, he was there first. She came over, sat at the table. They sat down. Girl, he put his foot up, hit something hard. He said, what was that? She said, oh, that's my prosthetic leg. This dude got up and left that girl because she had a prosthetic leg. I'm like, bro, I said, you can't do that. That's not right. I know she ain't having a leg, but you don't walk off a date like that, even though you didn't know that. But that should have been talked about on the first time before she even met him.
Let me tell you something.
That's interesting.
I can't tell y'all this because I'm gonna share something with y'all that kind of got me. We have our own business, and I was in an interview with a young girl, and we do virtual interviews, right? Mm-hmm. So no, I can't tell y'all that. But anyway, that's interesting because people are not upfront.
No.
And it should be some things that you volunteer.
Yes.
Like, how about this? No, I can't say it. But anyway, there should be some things that you volunteer that
don't
people don't. I'm not going to say it.
Nowadays.
Don't do it. Whatever it is.
Some things that you need to volunteer, especially now in the climate that we live in, where everybody is looking the same, but everybody is not the same.
Especially since we're doing so many things virtually, yeah. I think you need to volunteer some information. So those type things, because I know she felt awful, and she probably was a good girl, and her not having a leg was definitely not her fault. I bet.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you know what? I'm mad at him.
That's his
He could
maturity,
have
though.
been a good woman.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
my
you know what
coworker.
else? What if he would have married? What if he gets married and there's something tragic happening in his nuptials or in his marriage and his wife? I'm so mad at him right
Well,
now.
then you can guess what he gonna do.
Leave her. I'm so
Leave her.
mad at him right now. Tell him to stay away from women till he get ready.
He's
I
immature.
don't talk to him no more. That was last time I seen him was at work, and that was back in Minnesota. So not worried about it.
That was a good one, but it was a bad one.
It was
Yeah.
bad, but that's reality for some though. I'll be honest with you. Too many stories like that happen, you know.
Wow.
But I mean, I haven't experienced that type of level, but I think it's important to know you gotta see these signs before you even continue to talk with somebody. You gotta be honest too. Like honestly, what are we hiding these days that's was so embarrassing that has not been heard before? I mean, honestly, I get there's traumas and stuff like happen with family, and like that weird uncle or that cousin that did something. I get those things happen. Those are so sad stories. I think they're still uncovered because I've you know how many girl I can't even say it here like you, because honestly there's some girls that told me things I was like, whoa, I didn't even know that. But I'm like, okay, well, did you get therapy? No. Get therapy, because I'm not trying to be a therapist, because that's too much for me to hold. I can't hold it. And I think that they're good to open up, but it's like you got to get these things out to people who are professionals so they can understand to talk to you through it. I pray for the person, but I'm not going to be taking all that in. I can't take that. That's too much.
Everybody has a certain amount of dysfunction. I mean, if they don't, that's perfect. If they don't, I commend them. But I think that everybody got a little bit of dysfunction going on in their life.
Yeah.
Definitely. Neo Moses, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you having me on tonight, and hope you come on next time.
See you soon. All right. Bye-bye. So, Miss Rivah, we have been here 2.5 hours almost. So listen, I don't know if we had anybody else. I don't think we dropped the link in a while, but
we Friday night hanging out.
Listen, I appreciate everybody that's here, because you could have been doing anything else on this great Friday, but you're here with Security Boss and Rivah, and we're talking about marriage. So listen, this is like a joy because it lets you know what people are thinking about.
Right.
You came over here to us. We ain't gonna be doing none of that craziness. We ain't taking off our clothes. We ain't gonna cuss you out. We ain't gonna talk over you. We're not doing anything like that. So that means they want to be married.
You play too much.
They want all of that. They want all of that. So
Can I ask you, where did you get your name?
My husband, basically. Because it's a real company. We own a real security firm. So, and it's a real business. We have several employees, and it was a real thing. You know what? I feel like I don't know why I feel like you know this, but you don't. I have never told you. I know, but when you say things, you feel like everybody knows it.
Right.
So to answer that question, and I'm kind of glad you asked, because you do.
I want to know too what Boss Chick is too. So
that came from y'all.
Who?
The young man the other night, Kirk.
Oh, he just started calling you that?
He was saying it on your channel.
Oh.
And I was just playing with him because he sounds so funny saying it. He said all these boss chicks be thinking they got it going on.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was cute. So because I am security boss, I said I'm gonna get him, because he just kept saying it. So I don't know where boss came from.
I understand.
But security boss is a real thing. That's actually we own a security firm, and we do corporate security. So anywhere you might go see security officers, that's what my employees do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you guys are the boss, so security boss.
We're the boss, the owners, whatever. Yes.
Right.
But what happened is, and my husband opened this business back in 2005. And I sell I've been a realtor for most of my life. I sell houses. But in 2008, when the economy crashed, I decided to chill out a little bit. Didn't have a choice. But then my husband got a real huge contract in 2013, and he was like, I need your help. So in 2013, I came aboard with my husband's business, and he kind of made me the face of the business. So I was then over operations. So I hire people and I fire people. I'm the one. You come in the office, you see me. Yeah, I'm that person. I pay the bills. I do whatever my husband tells me to do, actually.
But I think it's a good space, and I love that you gave me this information, because I think that's another part of you guys' marriage too, when you're focused on your ambition and, different projects and stuff like that, and you guys have that, like, you're building things together, that's a big aspect, because a lot of people, okay, we have to talk, because a lot of people, we're gonna have to schedule to talk about this, but a lot of people, assume that when they get into relationships, like, the woman wants to be with a man that can just pay all of her bills and they don't want to do any building. And, you've been in it for a long time and you guys have grown so much. And I personally know that that makes such a bond between you two.
Yeah. I wouldn't have done it. I know it would be quite difficult because I was 25 and he was 30. I can't imagine us doing this now. Him already being established, me coming into his life. I don't blame anyone for not trusting a woman or a man. I get it. I get it. But I do know that it's real and better on the other side, though. I do. I do know that me and my husband accomplish more together. I do know we have more because we're together. I do know that we're now one. I get it. I know he's my covering. I see it. But to convey that to some other person that is grown, it's almost like,
you're like, why are we even having this conversation?
I already got this. Yeah, you're right. It's almost like, but I really want you to experience it for real. But you got to, and you build up so much, such an exterior. When you get a certain age, you build up so much of an exterior. It's so hard to release it to allow someone else to come in.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. But I had a question. Where did the unsolicited part come from? Okay, so to let you know who I really am. Just in case you hadn't figured it out yet, I am that person. I am pretty much outspoken. I don't know that I am, but I'm that person that in the past has had trouble finding what other people would call correct words. I just say, I get straight to the point. I'm not that always politically correct. I just get straight to the point. So I came up with the unsolicited. I'm the person that you didn't ask for it, but I may give it to you anyway. So it's unsolicited advice or unsolicited, whatever it is. I just call it like I see it. And, that's kind of how that came. That's exactly how that came about. But the security boss part is definitely a real thing. And I came up with the unsolicited.
I love people like that. I love people that are so honest. And it just comes out. I like that because that means that they're truthful.
Yeah, that's me. I don't even know I be saying, don't even know that it may not land correctly, or you say stuff and people look at you like, and you be like, oh, I just said where you going? Yeah, you said where you going, but you should have said. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to work on that. I always say that I'm gonna have to work on that. So listen, guys, thank you guys for coming in. Make sure you're subscribing to Security Boss Unsolicited, and definitely subscribe to Rivah's channel. I appreciate y'all for being here. Rivah, I appreciate these questions. And we do have to get together and have this show. And I don't know why I feel like all of this. This is weird.
Yeah.
None of it. I guess because we've been trying to have a show together. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. We discussed it. It's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah, that's exactly. Listen, somebody says, damn, security boss is like a relationship Yoda. I'll accept. But yeah, that's the unsolicited thing on it. But anyway, I appreciate you so much for being here. And we definitely going to do this again on your terms. Whatever you want to do and whatever you want to ask. Because I think you're doing an outstanding thing. I appreciate you so much for being a young woman. Are you willing to give your age? Somebody says, are you going to give your age?
No.
No. Women have a right to say that. But I appreciate you so much for wanting to be in this space. Because you're such a young woman. You could be out having them hot girl summers. I hope you ain't out there doing that other thing. But don't be sneaky Lincoln. Mr. Awesome, thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Get the money line song. Listen, who was that? TR got us today, didn't he? I'm gonna say he's a he.
Alar, please, Alar.
Yeah. Oh, you know him.
Yeah, he's no. I feel like everybody knows TR like from the chat. You know.
Oh, okay. It's the first time I've seen him.
On my channel. Yeah.
I appreciate you, TR, but you something else.
Yeah.
But definitely, Rivah, I enjoyed it. Anytime, just let me know, and we can, I guess, start at the beginning. I'll go back.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here in chat. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, I'll see you soon.
Now you're not.
Thank you.
And I'm just sitting, smoking, sloping in the days, cause my days ain't been the same since I drove here. I remember the way you wrote letters in blue ink. You and me was in love. What your crew think. I know your mom's probably thinking the best. Your pops probably wanna beat my dad and take it to my cat. But I got sick of fighting, bickering, fussing over nothing, cuss. Instead of watching the death of discussions that we once had. Days that we once spent in the backseat of our cars, poets at sunset. It's funny how love can pull up the foreground, get pushed into the back of your mind. We used to twist a slip and laugh and relax. And you crying, and I'm trying to find the reasons. So I ask, does forever ever happen, or is it always fade to black?
I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house to stay home, my soul. I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house to stay home with my soul.